I'm Josh, the Dungeon Master and World Builder for our mostly 5th edition D&D campaign, It Gets Worse. With us tonight is Mary playing Almanya, the former Dragonborn, now reincarnated Ravenfolk. Jenny playing Karina, the Bard Cleric, Trickster Cleric. Jenny playing Constantine. Cleric. What is it?
You said Bard Cleric. I'm a Rogue Cleric.
I'm sorry, Rogue Trickster Cleric.
I'm the Bard.
Just seeing if you're paying attention. Jenny playing Constantine, the half-orc champion, and Grace playing Vera, the former crime boss, grandmother halfling. I don't think those words were in the right order, but you get the picture. Unfortunately, we're missing Beth tonight, so Jenny will be handling Shoji, the half-elf. Oh my god, she's a necromancer. What? Yeah, and we're just going to jump back into where we left off a couple of weeks ago. Hope you all had a lovely Thanksgiving. Have a recap. Here it is. When we last left our heroes, you had all descended into the very lowest level of the ziggurat and found a huge room occupied by 7 dryads and a tall figure wearing druid-like garb. The place was covered in thick moss, grass, and vegetation, small trees and saplings, apparently growing out of the stone, but you can't really see because it's all covered in moss and other undergrowth. It quickly became clear that the other jaeger groups were largely interested in just kind of killing and looting, and although you made several well-thought-out attempts to forestall violence, and Karina managed to focus the attention of the druid figure with a specific song for a brief moment, unfortunately, due to the already heightened tension from the combat you guys had engaged in on the floor above, and the fact that this massive alabaster tree in the middle of the room made the first move, slamming Vera to the floor and then hurling her across the room, violence commenced. The battle was tough, but with some crazy luck and good tactics, the party weathered the storm. In large part because Shoji counterspelled the Dryad as it tried to deal 78 damage to the entire party immediately. And then she summoned a couple of zombies as meat shields. Another Jaeger party comparable to your level and experience was destroyed utterly in the first round. But the Broken Legacy, the kind of senior adventuring party here, focused down the druid and decapitated him before he got a single turn, which probably saved everybody's life because he was about to use a 9th level spell to turn into a purple worm. The other 2 Jaeger parties held their ground. In the aftermath, Shoji got Karina back on her feet and then immediately looted the bodies of the dead Jaegers. Kudos to Beth for doing it in that order. Karina investigated the great tree in the center and was somewhat dismayed that the Broken Legacy were in the midst of planning how to destroy it, and ran out of the ziggurat to try and find Callista. So that's happening. Constantine parlayed a bit with the Broken Legacy and then decided to just kind of get out from between them and the tree. And Almanya, discovering that Jamie, from whom she borrowed her lyre, had died along with the rest of the Silence of Night, and promptly took all of the rest of his instruments.
Very sad.
Had Mary been role-playing Almanya when that happened, I'm sure there would have been some words and some
emotions. Some
as it was, she simply looted.
That's okay.
And we're actually going to go ahead and start right there with Almanya, since Mary didn't get a chance to make many decisions last time. We're going to start with you. So Almanya, giant battle has just ended. Everything is dead, except for, you and the other Jaeger parties, and I guess the undergrowth and the tree. Okay, you guys killed a bunch of dryads and a druid and some other plant things, but there's still plenty of plant life in the room. You are standing over Jamie's, frankly, shredded corpse. You've got all of his instruments, and you are holding a letter from apparently his wife that essentially was kind of upset and wanted him to come home instead of spending so much time out with his Jaeger buddies. But you also notice it's a fairly old letter and is right, carries the delivery seal of the city of Westishire, which, as you know, is fallen and destroyed. So the wife is either dead or in one of those chattel camps that you and your friends escaped from a few months ago.
Does the letter look like it's been like opened and closed and kind of folded over multiple times? Or
It is very thoroughly creased, yes.
Okay. Kind of like the edges softened from like how many times it's kind of been pulled out and put back in kind of feel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to sling the lute over my shoulder, which is a very just like familiar kind of feeling, and put the flute and the harp, flute and the lyre in the bag of holding. Oh gosh, my screen changed.
Yeah, sorry, I just reshared the map. So this is kind of the room that you're looking at here. There's that massive tree in the center. There are smaller trees growing in various places, usually kind of hugging some of the pillars in the room. But then everything is covered in thick moss and undergrowth.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's the Astrophiz. I forgot about them.
It's not.
Totally is.
I'm gonna lean over Jamie and just kind of like press my hand against kind of the remnants of his chest a little, like give him like a little pat and say, well, you did tell me that you'd come and pry it from my cold dead body if I died, so I guess I have to go return the favor now, huh? Man, come on. I'm so ready for you to do that. Okay. All right. You did good, man. You did good. And I'm gonna kind of haul myself back up and kind of crack my neck and look around and go, I hope they find you. I really hope that they find you. Okay. I'm gonna go back and join the others again.
Mary, would you just real quickly?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to do to perhaps help them find him?
Ooh. Yeah. I'm sure there is something. I'm not sure what I would do, but I'm sure there is something. I mean,
because I definitely do have a chart of what comes to roll on to see what comes for your soul when you die.
Yeah, I'm going to take. So it says in my inventory that I have 2 old letters from his spouse, from his wife. Is that true?
It should just be one.
Okay, it says distinctly 2 old letters.
There were 2.
Correct. Elmon. 2 old letters from Jamie's spouse. Interesting. I think that should only be 1. Did I say 2 last time? Did I tell you what was in the second one?
No, you just said that they were just letters that was grumpy that he was traveling so much.
Oh, okay. I think the message is roughly the same in each.
Okay. I'm going to take the letters and tuck them into my coat, first of all. And I'm going to pull out a sheet of parchment and some ink and really quickly write down a few notes of my song, like a little line from it, just kind of like the notes as I know it, like quickly like scratch out like a little a set of lines for the bar and write a few of the notes as I kind of know them and hum them a little under my breath as I'm kind of like tucking it into like kind of what's left of his jacket, like just a little bit. And kind of like and just like breathe on it a bit and say like, okay, I hope you find your way. And I hope that they will find you and keep you safe. Because you at least deserve that for helping me.
Okay, give me a quick spellcasting ability check. So just a D20 plus charisma plus proficiency bonus.
Okay.
Oh, Jenny is not seeing Constantine's character sheet. Sorry.
That's going to be a 17, Josh.
17. Okay, roll 2d8. Jenny's okay, so the reason you can't find Constantine is because you used to log in with JRAD, and now you're Jenny Prime. So I'll go ahead and clear ownership, and now you should be able to see it.
Both are 8s, Josh.
Double 8s.
Double 8s.
What's hilarious is that currently number 8 on my chart is the heroes of 1,000 battles come to save you. So you doubled up on it.
Yes.
You, for a brief moment, you hear. You're not sure if you hear it, but if it's a memory or you're actually hearing it, you're not sure. But Abernathy's just rumbling voice. Hi. Who are you? And then it's just kind of gone.
I'm gonna pull out the lute and jauntily pluck a few of the lines of the song that I wrote where Abernathy appeared, just as kind of a little like yes. And then leave his body there like ha.
Probably the first time a bard has ever been a priest, but
had some weird spiritual experiences, since I died.
All right, Constantine and Vera, are you doing anything in particular down here?
I was watching carefully the tree because I did notice that it didn't like me, but it was fine with other people. So I was just going to watch it for when other people start to approach it, especially if the Broken Legacy starts to get too close.
Okay. They're taking a short rest, so it'll be at least an hour or so before they attempt anything.
Okay, then I'm going to spit out a mouthful of blood and go and find the rest of my party.
Okay. Choji is squabbling with other people over scraps of loot. Karina booked it up one of the staircases and is no longer down here. Amanya's over by Jamie. Constantine, what are you doing?
You're muted, Jenny.
Yeah, you're muted.
I want to stay down until the rest of the party gathers together and just watch out to see if anything tense is going to happen and just be ready to protect or attack if necessary.
Okay. All right, Karina, you book it up the stairs. 1 level, 2 levels. You get to the top. You burst out the door where Callista and George and a number of heavily armed and armored legionaries are just still there waiting. And as you come bursting out, a bunch of legionaries jump to their feet, swords and shields up, ready to go. What do you say as you come running out?
It's a lot of stairs. All right. Lady Callista, they're going to cut the big tree down that's downstairs, and I don't think that's a good idea. Do you think you can come down and make them stop? We killed all the things that are out to kill people, but there's just this big, beautiful tree, and there's something. I think there's something special about it. Do you think maybe you could come down and take a look and make them stop?
I have no idea what tree. There shouldn't be a tree. She casts a spell kind of at you, and you feel just something wash over you. No effect. Well, okay. I cannot enter until the Legion has cleared it. George, would you run and fetch the Kriegvanzer? I am the sergeant of the temple. I'm not an errand, but George, now. Yes, dear? George, we're in public. It's matriarch. Yes, dear matriarch. And he runs. He just kind of, you see him, he just sprints down the stairs, trips at one point and like dances on one foot down a couple, about 10 feet, and then catches his balance and keeps going. It's a good 30 minutes or so before you see him kind of running back, runs up the side of the ziggurat. Yeah, it is a lot of stairs.
I told you.
The Kriegvanzer, much slower, eventually comes up. And he just takes several squads in, and they proceed in much the same fashion that you guys did, just kind of floor by floor, bring in some hexen to check it out. And it's another 20, 30 minutes before they get down to the bottom. So those of you who, at the bottom who were waiting, yeah, Karina, do you want to do anything during that time?
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, come on, they're just gathering themselves, patching up their wounds. Let's go.
Let's see if I can.
I'll tell them basically what you heard me telling my 5th graders the other morning. Let's put a little pep in our step, people. Move it.
Let me remind myself who this Kriegvanzer is.
I also would have told Callista once I got my breath, and as much as she was willing to listen to, of the story of why I feel like this tree is so important.
Okay. So this is men's choral, human male, Kriegvanzer of the 3rd. Yeah. I understand. Nope, sorry, Vreeman. Look, I understand that there's a hurry here, at least according to you, but the safety of the matriarch is of much more importance to us than this tree that you speak of. We didn't even know about the tree until just a few moments ago, so forgive us if we do our jobs correctly.
Well, can you at least tell the lot downstairs to hold off? That's all I'm asking.
When we get there, perhaps. So they're taking a good 20, 30 minutes or so, and they are moving slowly towards the bottom. Are you staying with them, or are you going to head back down?
I'll head back down, actually. After, probably about 25 minutes or so, after telling Callista my story and hustling them up as much as possible.
All right. You get down to the bottom to find the rest of your party. Vera, did you want to take a short rest?
Intriguing. Sure. Do you mind if I, while Karina was gone, just sidled over to the Broken Legacy, who are also resting, and chat with them for a bit?
Sure.
Cool. So I'll roll a few hit dice then.
Sure, he would also roll hit dice.
So yeah, you can roll up to 6, and you can add your con mod to each one. Do you guys want to just kind of head over there as a party? This is all 3 of you going over. Constantine, Elmania, are you guys following, or are you doing something else specific?
I'm following.
I'm following too.
Okay. So you guys head over to the Broken Legacy to do your short rest kind of with them. There are, I believe, 6 of them. Yeah, there are 6 of them.
And I forget, we know who the guy who was in charge because we were chatting with him earlier.
Yeah, his name is Rith the Merciless.
Yeah, the pirate. I remember him.
Nice.
Can I just like sidle up to Riff?
Riff.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see him. He is checking all of his vials to make sure none of them have cracked.
I take it you're aiming for this tree once we're all patched up.
Oh yeah, just trying to find which one would be best used on my fire. So, acid should work, right? Acid works on wood. Bah. We'll throw a whole bunch of them together and see what happens.
Yes, I suppose. Although I should warn you, having taken the first hit, so to speak, I'd say you fellows go first. It'll kill all of you off, and then there's less loot to share with you. So, by all means, you go first.
Oh, you damn right we're going first. And if you don't think if any of you chip in, you're getting a single damn cent. Right?
Mm.
Sure. If we go in,
Rude.
it kills all of us. Sure. Whatever. Rest is yours.
Yes, well, again, speaking as... Was I the only one who was hit, by the way, by it?
Yes, because the only other people who walked within its range just kind of walked right up to it. Karina touched it. Constantine, I don't think he touched it, but walked right up to it and examined it, and yeah, nothing.
But
I did touch it one.
You did? Okay, yeah.
But, yeah, none of the Broken Legacy have gotten that close yet.
No, they kind of looked up, saw the extent of where its branches extend on the ceiling and its roots on the ground, and gave that a nice 5-10 foot buffer zone. They have not gotten closer.
Well, speaking as, again, the one who took the hit, may I recommend perhaps a little bit of circumspection? A little bit of planning before you run in there like a bull in a china shop, yes? It's not as harmless as it looks.
You see a little bit of his brow kind of furrows, and he looks at you real suspiciously. What? Yeah. I mean, we've got a plan. Why are you over here?
Again, just waiting to see if you die first.
Well, can't you wait over there instead of coming over here and talking about your circumcision or whatever? I mean...
Well, have fun. And I'll walk away.
You just used the word circumspection with a form. Okay. Elmania, Constantine, are you guys doing anything?
Is it too late to say, is it possible to take a short rest? I was distracted by trying to log in.
You guys all said we're basically sitting here waiting to see what people do.
All right.
So and for about an hour.
Can you roll hit dice to get hit points back?
Yes. And what's really cool is what you can actually do is, so if you see the front page of your character sheet on Fantasy Grounds, at the bottom where you see HD and then an 8 on a die.
Looking. Okay.
If you just grab those and roll it, it'll automatically add all of the relevant stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can roll up to 8 of those.
Okay. I'd already used 4. I don't know why.
When did you?
Because Shoji did the necromancer thing where she could spend hit dice.
Right. Okay. Amanya?
Ooh.
I'm also taking a short rest. I'm looking around to see if I can. Goodness gracious. Getting a lot of points back.
It's like, dang, Constantine.
I can't remember what it was that I found upstairs. Oh yeah, I was looking for stuff for our slime friend, I was looking for interesting historical or artistic kind of like carvings or anything like that. Can I kind of take some time as I'm strumming around, getting used to the new loot, figuring out like can I also like kind of take stock of the area and like anything that I can see on the walls?
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Ah, 13.
13. There's plenty of religious imagery of this similar sort that you saw on the previous floors. Doesn't make a lot of sense to you. You're not sure what the stories depict. There's not really a lot of particular like images that stand out right there. There's no big bizarre creatures. There's no weirdness. Nothing that catches your eye.
Nothing that would really like make any good musical writing fodder either.
Nothing that jumps out at you. There's a lot of scripts that you don't understand. I mean, that being said, the vast majority of the room is covered in thick moss and vegetation, so you can't see most of it. So if you stuck around long enough for them to really clear it out, you might see more.
Find something. Okay.
You do hear, though, as you kind of move around the room, just a faint boom, 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 boom. Sounds just like a slow heartbeat.
Can I pinpoint like what direction it's coming from? Is it coming from the tree? Is it coming from somewhere behind the walls?
Give me an investigation check.
That's a 5.
5.
Suck it.
It takes you a while. This would still allow a short rest. You're just kind of walking around, looking at things. You kind of you try to locate it, but the acoustics in the room are kind of strange, and so you're wandering around, and eventually you draw nearer to one of the trees that have grown up along and around one of these pillars, and inside the tree you can see it's not actually fully solid. There's a part of the tree that kind of bulges out a little bit, and you can see through cracks in the wood that inside there is a very large heart that is integrated into the wood. So you can see, veins extending out from it, then slowly changing into wood, and it's just integrated into the interior of this tree, and you can hear it and see it. Boom, 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 boom.
I'm gonna look back at all the various Jaeger parties and people and be like, hey, is anybody like good with trees and nature and animals and heartbeats?
At this point, the two like low-level Jaeger parties, they're not even down here anymore. They got almost slaughtered. They've concluded, right, cool, we got whatever loot we could from that other party that died. Doesn't look like there's anything else around here. So they're gone. And the only ones really left at this point are your party and the Broken Legacy.
I'm not good at those things, but I will trot over there anyway.
Can I have come down the stairs just as she's saying this?
It took me a while.
As you said, it took her a long time.
Yet. Two of the Broken Legacy kind of jog over to where you are, Elmania, giving a wide berth to the area of the tree. Vera, I assume you are doing the same.
Now I am.
Kind of head over. So there's a dwarf wearing just kind of wolf pelts all over them. and then that half elf that you saw earlier with kind of a blade with feather and vine patterns all over it. They jog over to you. They stop about 15 feet short as they can see you kind of really close to this tree. Clearly the tree is the focal point of whatever you're saying. So they're not coming like within arm's reach, but they stop. And the half-elf says, my name's Hutzal. I guess I know some things about plants, sure.
Great. Awesome. Hutzal, did you say?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Almanya. This tree has a heart in it, and I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen a tree with a heart in it, and it kind of vaguely concerns me.
Is this a joke or a metaphor, or?
I want to like take a step back and just like Will Smith dramatic, like hands
from the meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the like.
Yeah. Oh, you're such a bard, Mary.
I know. Me in real life.
He draws his blade, and you can see energy like sparkling at his fingertips as he comes closer. Gives you a really suspicious look.
I like hold up my hands. There's like just a loot. There's literally nothing in my hands except for like a loot. I'm like,
yeah. Seems to conclude that you're not about to stab him in the back.
No, man, you're good.
And kind of peers in. Yeah, you weren't kidding.
Yeah, no. Have you, with all of your interesting nature knowledge, ever seen something like this? Is this a species of tree that I've never seen before?
I'm going to go ahead and roll a nature check for him. Oh. No, I have not seen it this before, nor have I heard of it. But I don't know. Let's see what happens. And he takes his sword.
See, can I have heard this?
Yeah, you're over there as well.
I'm taking like 17 steps back immediately, just like,
yeah,
no!
I'm like backing up and I say, is that the wisest idea? Right as he goes like this.
Probably not, but well. Ooh.
This whole area seems to be alive. And again, I understand entirely wanting to kill it.
Seska, bring the axe over here. He turns and gestures at the dwarf wearing all of the pelts, who brings a great axe over, and they commence trying to carve the heart out of the tree.
All right. Does it remind me of okay, Mary has never been here. The Oath Garden. Mary has never been to the Oath Garden. Because I was never here in sessions where you guys all went to the Oath Garden. Tragically. So my characters have been to the Oath Garden and I've never been there, and that makes me Mary deeply upset because I've only ever wanted to do that. Does this remind me of anything like that? Like, have I seen anything kind of weird in this way before?
You've never seen or heard of anything like a heart in a tree before.
Okay.
And you don't know. You guys, I mean, you've certainly heard about the Oath Garden because it's always the place the Freemans are like, look, if you break an oath, you need to go here. It's really important. But beyond that, you don't really know much about the Oath Garden.
Okay. How are their attempts at carving it out looking?
Yeah. Can I, the minute they start, just look at the other tree? If there's a reaction?
The big one in the middle? Yeah. They seem to be, Almanya, they seem to be highly proficient at carving very specific bits out of things that they've killed or defeated.
Nice.
Vera, the tree in the center, doesn't seem to react at all.
Mm-hmm. I just lean over to Almanya. You know, I'm really starting to hate this place. City girl, But something about that makes me feel bad. And that makes me feel even worse. That makes me feel bad.
What, that they're carving it out makes you feel bad? That they're destroying it?
Yeah.
Or that it's there in the first place?
Both. Either?
I mean, I just don't know what it is, and it kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Exactly. And I don't particularly like attempting to kill something without knowing what it is.
Ma, I think that's the most sympathetic thing I've ever heard you say in your entire life.
At what point have you ever saw me kill something who didn't deserve it?
Karina, at this point, you come running down the stairs to see kind of this conversation. Constantine standing nearby, and you see just as this half-elf has pulled this very large heart kind of out of the tree, and is just kind of holding it. And you can see as kind of the veins and arteries coming off of it that end in kind of a woody vine-like tapering. Those vines start to kind of curl around and wrap around wrists and fingers. And so he kind of like grabs it and is transferring it from like hand to hand, like a hot potato, but more like a potato that's slowly trying to grow around, and just kind of detaching the vines and like, oh yeah, oh, this is going to be worth something. Bring the bag, guys, bring the bag. Just kind of, and one of the other Broken Legacy hustles over with what looks like some kind of magical bag, and he kind of scrapes it off of his hand into it. They close the bag.
It reminds me of like a Spriggan heart from a little bit from Skyrim, a little bit from The Witcher.
Yes.
You know, the
Totally
bright
does.
green, woody, like that's kind of how I imagine it. But
do I see exactly who has the bag and where it is?
Oh yeah, they did this right in front of you. So
Okay.
Karina, you kind of run down and see this as well.
What the?
it was a beating heart in a tree, Karina. It freaked me out. I asked anybody if they knew what it was. They carved it out. I didn't know what it was, and it scared me. Okay?
But isn't that the most beautiful thing that you could ever imagine?
No.
In the
I
nine
mean-
hells, what's wrong with you people?
Okay, look. Okay, hold on. I lived in a tiny little city, and then I died, and then I woke up in a much larger city much later on, and now I'm here, and I swear to gods, I have no idea, what, okay. I just don't know that much about random nature things, and when there's a beating heart inside of a tree, my first thought is, oh God, something is growing inside of the tree, and it's going to come out and eat me. And I've already died once. Okay.
Well,
The
perhaps
one holding the bag kind of calls over. That is a good survival instinct. If you guys want to keep doing this, that right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You kind of head off.
Karina, darling, I'm sorry about our prejudices, but every step I have taken away from pavement has made my life so much more interesting, and sometimes interesting in a good way, but mostly interesting in a bad way. I take it you've had a different experience.
Well, the city where I come from, you cannot breathe the air without it burning your lungs. So I don't know if it's nice in the city where you live, but trees have been the best thing that have ever happened to me throughout my life. And getting away from the city,
But what if the trees try to kill you? Then what do?
That tree did try to kill me.
it tries to kill you, then you deal with it then. But to go around preemptively killing things that you don't understand is not good. And I don't know what you have done in your past life, Mrs. Mayweather, but I walked right up to that tree and put my hands on it, and it didn't do a damned thing to me.
Mac, I actually took rather offense
now
to
forgot,
that.
Actually, As your hand
It was
smacks
a pat.
me, it gets smacked away.
Well, you're being very rude about it.
You guys can see that the Broken Legacy has finished their rest and is gearing up and starting to fan out to assault the tree.
I look at Ma and go, if you want it, you better go get it now.
Oh, yes. Well, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're rather faster than I am.
Too bad.
I will go over towards the guy that's in charge of the Broken Legacy.
Uh-huh.
I still have a slot left. And I will
I'm afraid of the half smile that just like started on your face and then you suppressed it.
let me double check one thing real fast. Okay, cool. So I will just not walk within like grabbing distance of him so that I'm not imposing any sort of threat on him whatsoever. And I will just smile very sweetly and say, all right then. So I've just had words with the lady upstairs, the matriarch, and she's on her way down just as soon as the Craig Fonsers can ascertain that the area is clear for her. So I would think, my dear friend, that it would be very wise for you to hold off on assaulting this tree until the lady has had a chance to take a look at it, you know? And giving him my biggest grin, I'll just gently reach for my pipes, and I would like to cast Charm Person on him. It just makes me a friendly acquaintance, and he's inclined to do what I ask, I believe.
Okay.
And Jenny is having a panic attack because Talia can't do this shit. Different character.
Are you trying to hide that you're casting a spell?
Yes.
Okay. Roll a sleight of hand.
Cool. 15.
+7? Holy shit. Okay.
Rogue.
Question. I don't know if anybody knows the answer to this. When you roll sleight of hand, it's meet or beat their passive perception.
I think
It's
so.
always the skill that's being rolled has to meet or beat.
Yeah.
3 members of this party have a high passive perception. All of those are 15. So you are not turned into a spot of grease as you walk up to the leader and cast a spell at him. Okay. Oh boy. Is there a save associated with this?
It is a wisdom save, and my DC is ridiculously low.
Is this the spell where they know after it's done that you cast oh no, that's friends.
No, that's friends.
Okay. And it's a wisdom save?
Oh, they do know at the end, actually, yes. But it
And it's a
lasts
wisdom
for an
save?
hour. Yeah.
Okay.
It lasts for an hour, so I have time to get the fuck out of Dodge.
He rolled a 12.
It's a 14.
Okay.
So I'm just a friend who's offering him some good advice.
I mean, I've never seen pure white wood like that. It's probably worth quite a bit.
But, you know, it would be a shame if you were to cut it down and then the lady came down and she was mad at you for doing it, right?
Right, so here's the thing, though. This,
But if you cut it down later, she'll still pay you.
well, maybe not. Tell you what. This isn't gold. and we're finished here.
Eh?
You give us 2,000 gold, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Well, you have to talk to the little one because I don't have any of the money.
I'm assuming that you guys have been divvying out the money as you go.
Well, I have nothing in my inventory, so
Okay.
I have no idea how much money she would have.
I just want to know, have you guys been divvying it out? Would Karina be claiming her share at the end of every day?
I assume so.
Okay.
Sure.
So that would be 1/5 of
This whole time.
I mean, you've got 1/5 of what looks like about 14 or 15,000 gold.
So 3,000 or so?
So you've got about 2,500 to 3,000. So you've got it.
Lit.
Done.
Okay.
But this means, my dear friend, that, if she does want the tree cut down, then we're the ones for the job, yes? And not you.
Yeah, but it's been a long fucking week, and I don't like being out in a forest where it's all humid by the river and everything, and I kind of just want to be done. So you give us the money, and it's all yours. They seem actually surprised as you like pull out money in like chunks of 400 at a time and just like
One,
toss it to them. And it's just like. Right? It's all yours.
Tell you what, you cut me in on a dice game sometime, and I'll throw in a good pair of boots.
All right. Well, we're playing most nights, so come over to the camp when you're done down here.
You, my friend, have a
And
deal.
They head out, and you guys have the room entirely to yourself.
Respect, dearie. I saw the little hocus pocus. It's always good to weight your dice.
Well, I'll be straight with you, Ma. I'm not going looking for those guys.
Yes, I think that would be very wise.
I think we'll stay out of their way now, yeah? Because him in about an hour, he'll know what I did.
Well, he'll have walked away 2,000 gold richer, which probably not what this tree is worth, but it's something. By the way, entirely. Yeah.
You're give me a quick. I'm going to make this a history check, and if you're not proficient in history, add your proficiency bonus to this check.
Oh, okay. Lots. Plus proficiency would be +3 to that, so 24.
So most of the populations in the world live in cities, and wood is extraordinarily expensive because in order to get any, you have to equip a whole caravan to go out and get any. This tree is the wood of this tree would be worth way more than 2,000.
Yeah, it's what I figured.
It's a big tree with a 21. You could probably get somewhere between 15 and 25,000 gold for it.
Yes, Karina, darling,
to carry it all in.
I do believe you cheated the fellow, so I agree entirely that distance is our best option. Incidentally, that is the exact thing that I'm going to say about myself and this tree. Could you please do what you did before and you touched it, correct?
Yeah?
At the time, I did not mean it any harm. I was walking by it and it threw me into the wall.
Well, maybe you're one of the others then.
Others? That's very ominous.
Well, you see, Vera, there's a story amongst my people. Long ago, far across the sea, my forebears lived. And they lived very happily and very comfortably in the wood, and they took care of it, and they took care of the spring that was right there that gave them water, and they cared for everything, and they prospered. Until one day, I don't know exactly what happened, but some other people came, and they defiled the spring, and they tried to cut down the wood, and they drove the people, my ancestors, out, away from this beautiful place where they lived. And so perhaps they were halflings. I don't know.
To be perfectly frank, it does seem interesting that you do have such a sense of, I don't know, identity based on what you are. I don't know anything about halflings. No halfling knows anything about halflings. I don't have any particular, I don't know, racial memory with them.
There are
So,
no stories handed down in your family from generation to the next?
no. Halflings simply are.
I mean,
There are actually stories. There's about as many stories about halfling
Right.
origin as there are halflings. So
Right.
And I'm
Everybody
writing
has
one
their
too.
own.
I'm writing one for Ma too, remember?
Oh, yes, you are.
I told her I'd write
Everyone
her a
has
song
their
about
own.
people.
It suits their own purposes, but one thing I am certain of is that there's no such thing as a halfling homeland. So I'm
Oh.
sorry that your people lost yours, but I don't think it was us.
I don't think there's any such thing as a human homeland either, but it's more that, well, I have a charge to keep when it comes to things like this. And I've truly lived in a city where the air is toxic. Just breathing it causes tremendous damage to one. So there's something truly beautiful about a great thing like this. And it shouldn't be harmed unless it tries to harm you. That's all I'm saying.
I like
Maybe my
wipe
people
blood
came
off the
in.
corner of my mouth.
Maybe my
Sure.
people came in and destroyed your homeland. They definitely have a habit of doing that.
Well, let us simply
I don't
say
think
that
it was birds. If it had been birds, I would have known.
Oh
Surely.
shit, no. I meant the Dragonborn. Sorry, I used to be a Dragonborn. You know? Actually, it's kind of funny. See, the other voice in my head, the other person in my head, her whole country was taken over by Dragonborn, who are my people, but now I am not a Dragonborn. And she was a Dragonborn, but she wasn't a Dragonborn. Actually, she was a halfling.
a very long
I don't know.
story.
I am a walking piece of history, is what I'm essentially saying. And maybe it was mine. Maybe it was my people. Hell if I know.
It
I look
does
at
seem
Constantine and I say, what the fuck is wrong with people?
like,
I have been wondering that since I joined you people.
Oh, thanks, Constantine. We love you too.
let us simply say that I suppose in Almania and my experience, it has been the wilderness that has been encroaching on civilization, not the other way around. And our prejudices are formed thusly. I don't mean to speak for you, Almania, but certainly mine are. To set foot outside of the city walls is death. I now understand that that experience is not universal.
Well, but you're alive, aren't you?
Not really.
Barely. You certainly are, Almonia, considering the quest.
That's true.
So, and Karina will point at Shoji.
She's alive too, believe it or not.
Yeah, we don't know what the fuck is up with her.
Oh.
Sorry, Ma. Apologies.
Beck.
I accept the smacks.
Did she do this to you?
Shoji, did she do this to me?
Yeah.
Oh no. I mean, hell no. No, actually it was our other friend. Actually it's an exceedingly long story. Have I never told you the story of how I died? The long and wonderful ballad of my death and resurrection.
I don't believe so. No.
Oh, it's a great story. It's pretty impressive. And I'm going to tell you tonight. I'll tell you when we head back up. It's great. It's great.
She died 34 episodes ago.
She did.
It really
Oh,
is.
Constantine?
Constantine wants to yawn pointedly and just stroll over to the tree and start looking in the hole where the hole is taken out.
It's just broken and splintered.
I want to talk to Callista when we next see her. I know that she's kind of on her way.
If you guys, we can say, yeah, if somebody wanted to go up and check, as soon as the Legion hit the where the plants were starting to kind of spread out on the above floor, their progress came to a standstill, and it's probably going to be about half a day before they are confident that it's safe enough down here to bring Callista.
Okay. Then I'd like to start heading back up because I need to go talk to Callista.
Okay. So Manya is going to go talk to Callista. Does anybody else want to do anything down here, or do we just want to jump ahead?
I would like just a brief thing down here, just to stay and sit and play the pipes. And once everybody else is gone, maybe have a quick smoke.
And you're doing this near the tree?
Yeah.
Distant relations, as they say in Lord of the Rings.
And just kind of meditate on it and contemplate and see if I can learn anything else.
Okay. Constantine, Vera, anything in particular you'd like to do?
Is it probably impossible for me to fix my Warhammer myself? It would be a long process. I'd have to find a forge.
Yeah, that's probably something you would need to do kind of this evening. You would need the Legion's equipment and their smithies.
Okay. I'm gonna follow. I'll just follow up then.
Okay.
To hear what's going on with Callista.
Okay, Vera, anything else down here?
I'm just gonna give the tree a long look, sort of like, what is your problem with me? Look.
Side eye.
Okay.
The side eye. And then I will go upstairs.
Okay. So you guys all go up there. We'll do this part now. Karina, you sit under the tree for about an hour, or longer if you'd like, playing your pipes, having a smoke. With everybody else gone, it's pretty much pitch black down here. So I don't know if you you used candle or something like that.
Sure.
Just kind of
Do I
illuminate.
have that?
Yeah, you get cantrips, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who has cantrips automatically has the candle cantrip.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I
Okay.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's to partially make up for light being a first level spell.
Okay.
I'm a
Partially to make up for it. The rest of it, he's not making up for it all.
Karina, you sit there for a while, and you gradually realize you have a lot of energy. All of the exhaustion from the fight and just kind of the whole day, right? Where ordinarily you're sitting here in the dark, maybe your eyelids would be drooping. That's not happening. You feel energized. And Karina, you gain the benefits of a long rest.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
Getting juiced up from the tree.
So the rest of you guys head to the top.
But
So,
did I find anything out?
you did not find anything out except that apparently resting beneath this tree for a short amount of time is awesome. It's like a full night's sleep.
Well, that's a bloody good tree.
Yeah. Okay, the rest of you, meanwhile, kind of head back up through, and you can see that the Legion on the floor above has come in with axes and fire and is just clearing all of the shrubbery back to kind of that central tube that runs all the way up and down the pyramid, the ziggurat. And you guys head all the way back out to where Callista is sitting just kind of on in a chair that has been brought towards the top of the ziggurat for her. And George is shirtless and doing calisthenics conspicuously nearby a group of female legionnaires.
You're married, honey.
Shame on him.
What? It's just exercise?
Dork.
And Callista looks up as you guys approach. You have all survived. Karina made it sound. I'm sorry, she spoke very quickly. Made it sound as if everything had been cleared.
Pretty much.
Yes, essentially. She was very determined to save. She must have mentioned, no matter how quickly, the tree that's in the lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you describe this tree? What?
Well, the best that I can describe it is to encourage caution. It did a number on me. And I'm not entirely sure why it didn't do a number on everyone.
But it's different.
Selective.
It's different from the treants that have harassed our journey through the forest thus far.
Yes, it does appear to be rooted, as in a tree. Alabaster, massive. But the fact that it attacked one and not all implies sentience. Or feeling of some kind.
Right.
Not to mention they pulled out a pumping and moving heart, which
That
I
too.
don't think is normal for a tree.
That was another tree, but yes, that also happened.
Yeah, the heart came out of a smaller tree elsewhere in the group.
Okay.
Nearer to where you guys had come down the stairs.
The whole area is quite disturbingly alive.
And that is all quite interesting, I'm sure. But I understand it is in the main sanctuary, and it is growing up and through the center.
It is.
Karina, I understand that you want to...
I'm not there.
Green isn't there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your friend Karina seemed to want to preserve the tree.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the sanctuary must be restored, and we cannot leave the tree there.
Who says that your sanctuary must be restored to exactly as it was before?
I do.
Why?
I cannot tell you, but it is important to the safety and future of my people.
And say that this tree, again, I know nothing of it, and frankly, I don't particularly care for it after the events of this day. But say that it is a living, breathing, and sentient creature. Would your goal be worth its death?
I wish no aggression against the tree, but if the tree cannot be moved, then I'm afraid it must be destroyed. You're welcome to take whatever cuttings of the tree that you wish, if you wish to, I don't know, graft it elsewhere and preserve it in some sense that way. But as it stands, the tree must be moved or destroyed.
Is that sanctuary where the people here would go to feel the closest to Silhelune?
Yes, and I know that you had expressed some interest in the sanctuary.
Yes.
When it rains here, we used to all gather down there by the pool. And as the water entered through the roof and ran down the metal lattice that runs through the center of the pyramid, it would create somehow rhythmic and melodic music that would calm the darker instincts that my people are enslaved to. You guys all hear me fine? My mic is all the way over here. And
Yeah.
I hear you. You're
Well,
fine.
People. Tieflings.
Tieflings and those who have become infected with the rage of animals, lycanthropes.
And
Yeah.
all this is incompatible with the new life that is now there.
The tree is interrupting the flow of the water, then yes.
Don't you think you perhaps should speak to your goddess about it?
I have, and this is the decision that I've made.
Again, I know nothing of religious matters. It just seems like there's a wrinkle in the plan that you were not expecting.
Indeed, it is not entirely unexpected. We knew that there would be obstacles, and we knew that something or some things powerful would be drawn to this place. We did not know its exact nature, and at the moment the only wrinkle is your insistence that we not damage or move the tree.
I suppose that I had hoped, and perhaps I was naive, which is not how I would normally describe myself. I suppose I had hoped that the powerful entity that you refer to that is attracted to this place and usurped the sanctuary of your goddess would be more openly wicked. It does not appear to be so.
Yes, not all of our opponents have the decency to be evil.
Yes, I know. That's why I said I was naive. But I'm rather surprised at your answer. I rather like you better for it.
I don't know that I should take that as a compliment, but thank you. Was there anything else? If the tree is indeed sentient and you can convince it to move, surely that would be ideal, and you are welcome to try. However, we must complete our task, and soon.
Yeah.
Well, I
I need to
suspect
talk
if
to you about it.
anybody's persuading a tree of anything, particularly of moving, the only thing I know about of trees is that they don't. I suspect that my friend Karina would be the one to do it. She's communing with it now.
Well,
strong word for what
I
she's
will,
doing.
I will tell you that this place has been open for only 1 year. No tree that I know of can grow to such a size in that short of a time. So it seems likely that it was able to move in the first place. And may that lend hope to your efforts.
And do you think it has anything to do with all of this missing organic material all over this area? I don't know if you've noticed.
I had read some reports that others had noticed something similar. I can shed light on that particular mystery. A year ago, this place was released from the grasp of a beholder that had somehow twisted the life in organic matter and given it different instructions, I should say, than what you and I, than the biology that you and I are made up of. And the instructions he gave it were to spread and consume and transfer energy to, well, a rather large and powerful matrix of some sort that he had created right where the tree rests now. And this strange new life manifested as a sort of creeping purplish moss, fleshy moss. It was distasteful in every way, but it consumed everything living and transferred its energy to that matrix. But several friends of mine and I defeated the beholder and destroyed his experiment, and in the destruction, all of that energy was released and transferred elsewhere, and no trace remained.
Are you quite certain no trace of all the energy of organic material in that exact spot went elsewhere?
I know where most of it went. I am sure it is possible that it bled off elsewhere. Are you suggesting that perhaps it went into growing this tree rapidly?
It's merely a theory. I'm the opposite of an expert on the natural world, but it
I
seems
likewise know
plausible.
little about it.
All I know is that I have seen no growing things in this place, and suddenly I entered a room that was entirely growth.
So quick correction. You've seen lots of growing
Yeah,
things?
but not
But-
like the wood and the.
Right.
It was very, very. I've seen none of the building materials,
Right.
but it was
nothing,
quite striking.
yeah. Nothing that you've seen so far looks like it's been growing for more than a year, right? In a place that's been closed off for supposedly centuries, the whole thing should be overgrown. All the
Right.
growth just looks really young. And then, yeah, all like manufactured and constructed wood gone.
Until we came to that third level when it was like a jungle.
Until you got to the
Yeah.
third level.
Yes. So it just seems curious to me that the thing that consumed all of the energy of growth in the same spot, there is nothing but growth there. It just seems odd.
I agree, but I have no other answers for you in that regard.
Well, I have no answers either, nor do I really have an agenda, except perhaps to ask you to think. And fortunately, you do appear to me to be a thoughtful person regardless.
Thank you. Was there anything else? Did the Legion say when they would be finished?
They say it would take the better part of a day before they considered it safe enough for you to enter, and they have not approached the tree yet themselves.
You see her shoulders just slump. Give me a quick insight check.
Yay, I can do those. It wasn't good, but it
Oh,
was
no.
14.
14. Okay. She's certainly disappointed that it's going to take that long, but she quickly resigns herself to sitting here in a chair with a book for even more hours. All right.
All right.
You want to like get up and go for a walk or something, or are you just gonna sit in this chair?
She looks over at George. Still fine sheen of sweat over his completely hairless, ripped torso. Yes, a distraction would be quite lovely if you're offering.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on a walk.
Okay, you go on a walk with Callista. Squad of legionaries trailing you guys about 20 feet.
Yeah, we just chat lightly about the weather and about how we're doing, and I'm like strumming soft little tunes, like as we're just kind of wandering around, just to kind of like get her mind off of things and help her relax a bit.
Give me just a quick persuasion check.
Okay.
Or performance. I think your modifier is the same for both.
Is the same for both. I'll just grab one and having a moment. But still 21.
21. Her mood definitely lightens. And occasionally, kind of during the conversation, you'll, maybe you'll mention like family, and the conversation will start to go in that direction, and her mood definitely starts to kind of drop, and she withdraws a little bit, and you quickly kind of change the subject. And you're like, but then there's this tune that I've been working on. Let's take a lovely kind of walk for the afternoon.
We talk about gardening and about her interior decoration of her house and about like where she enjoys going shopping and what she enjoys wearing, and just like all those fun things that you just kind of get into like a long conversation where you start at point A and somehow you get to like point Z with like no in between. Like you're like, we started here and now we're talking about like your favorite type of bean that you've grown, and I don't know how we went from like folk tunes to your beans, but man, like it's a good conversation.
You gather from the conversation, actually, especially oddly enough, when you talk about growing beans, she actually seems to know quite a bit about agriculture.
Yes.
Not a lot about trees and nature, but she knows how to like organize and plant a field.
Who grew up in a city where like going outside is dangerous is just enthralled. I am fascinated. As I'm like plucking out strings, I'm like, tell me more.
Wait, you grow food? What? Yeah. And
that's my little protege.
Whenever the stories turn to like interior design, you hear lots of stories about George trying very, very hard to like paint interior rooms and retile the roof of the temple in Vreem, and just all of them are horror stories. every one of them.
Yes.
It's highly entertaining for you, and as you kind of laugh at it, you just full-throated, just letting loose with the laughter. She's telling it as a frustrating story, but as you just kind of howl about it, she starts to find humor in it as well, and just kind of, the whole conversation is very pleasant.
Yay!
You get the sense that some of the some frustration that she's holding at George has been released somewhat, and she's some humor
just talking through, finding the humor in the everyday issues. Just like, yep, guys are weird. Let's talk.
All right. And actually, she is about. You're 13. For Dragonborn, that's closer to like 20s or so.
Yeah.
She like in comparative ages is actually younger than you are.
Interesting.
She,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, she's a tiefling, but like in human years, she's like somewhere between like 16 and 19. She is quite young.
I'm like, oh, you're such a baby. Oh no. Like in that like I'm 24 and anybody who's like younger than 21, I'm like, oh baby. It's kind of it's like that experience where it's the almost like, oh, I am so wise and old and I have so much life experience, even though clearly I'm like only 3 years older kind of feel. That's how I feel about Callista. I'm like, oh baby, this is gonna be great.
So here's what we'll do. The Legion moves down to the bottom level and begins to and continues to rip up and cut and burn vines and whatnot up to a little outside kind of the range of these branches. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring the whole party down there in the sanctuary to, I mean, do you guys want to make efforts to move the tree, or are we just letting that one go?
I will tell Karina about what we talked about with Callista.
Okay. So
And I will tell Karina.
You share the information, right? And you're all down there. Amanya, you spend an afternoon walking with Callista, but you are also kind of down.
Yeah.
You made it down here as we make our efforts.
I would also
Karina,
like
dearie.
to point out that Karina was not smoking tobacco while she was down here.
What were you smoking?
Does it
You're a
smell
herb
very
just
distinct?
like
Are you just high as fuck?
No, she's not like super high, but she's a little bit buzzed.
Are you
I
like
know
the
all
munchies?
the
Are you hungry?
signs.
Are you like what kind
No,
of
all the
virus are you?
munchies.
Are you hungry?
I will sit there and I will immediately know because
Smell the
my
weed
family
on it.
flipping sells drugs. And be-
Yep.
and I will sort of grab her like this and do a little shake, like, are you hearing me?
Vera, do you walk up to her as she's sitting at the base of the tree?
Oh, no, I do not.
Okay.
I will like do a little like I was about to say that I will stop at the bottom of the stairs and I'm not taking a step further. But I will try and like
Shouting across the room.
yes. Karina, do you come over to me?
Yeah, I come over.
Okay. So then I'll be like, give you a little shake. I didn't even know you had that on you.
She's
Regardless.
like, oh, dude.
I don't know what you're assuming about me, Mrs. Mayweather, but where I come from, we use this as sort of a meditation focus. So you don't need to worry about anything. I'm not deaf and I'm not stupid and I can perfectly well hear you. So what have you
Alright.
got to say?
I wasn't assuming that. I was more wanting focus.
Every
and
third
the
word
tower-
just kind of slurred into the next words. It's like, yeah,
No, she's
I am
actually
totally in control right now.
it's sort of in the same sense that the Native Americans use
Yes.
a little bit of the
Ah, yeah.
pipe, so to speak, to focus their visions.
Wait, are we
Indeed.
talking like full peyote, or
That's what I was wondering.
because that's a little different?
Not
That's
fully. No, just a mild hallucinogenic, not anything strong. It's in my backstory.
Vera has no experience with that use of drugs. Just so you know. So she's just like raising her eyebrow at you really skeptically and then explains what Callista said. And then this is your task, Karina, because I have to be honest with you. I'm not stepping any further near that thing than I currently am.
Did she say why it was so troubled with you in particular?
Well, she doesn't know. I mean, she doesn't know anything about it, except that it must be powerful if it was drawn to this place. But that's actually an interesting question. Josh, is it reacting to the Legionnaires in any way?
They're not going near it.
Oh. Well, I need more data, frankly. I think all of us need more data as to why it reacted. So far, we've only had 3 people that have gotten within range. And it didn't like me, and it liked you, and it liked Constantine. What's the difference?
Almania, fancy a stroll?
You know, at this point, sure, why not? I will go
Almania,
over-
may I remind you that you have died?
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that I sat down here with it for an hour and I played the pipes and I partook a little bit, but that never has done this for me before. And I feel really good. Like I have so much energy. I feel like I could take on all of you right now.
Nice.
I feel like
That's
I
sweet.
slept all night. It's the best I felt in ages, honestly. So if you sit here, you recover, I think. Like I even had, a scratch on my arm. Something got me earlier, and it's totally gone now.
All right. Well, I'm with Callista on this one. I think we got to get the tree to move at some point. But sure, I'll go see how the tree feels about me. Like, I have no like ill will towards the tree. I'm just like, yeah, sure, it's the tree. Like, I don't have much trouble with it. So I'm like, well, I don't know how dragonborns feel about trees. I mean, I probably do, but like that's some deep level cultural shit that Almania's sister would have known, but that she doesn't give a fuck about. But she assumes raven folk are great with trees because they're birds. But yeah, I'll go take a step out with Karina, see how the tree feels.
I take out my healing potion and I just wiggle it like this, just in case.
I would step out like beside her as she goes forward.
Almania, you walk towards the tree, and as you kind of look at the trunk, nothing happens, and you kind of look up, and in the branches, where everybody else sees flowers, you actually look like occasionally it almost looks like you're looking at the night sky through the branches, and you can see little twinkling stars here and there.
Huh. Well, that's funky. Hey, Karina, when you look up, what do you see up there?
Do I see that too, or just flowers?
Just flowers.
The flowers are very pretty.
Huh,
I think
okay.
they're a little brighter than they were, but that's
I'm-
probably just the smoke.
I'll walk up to the tree and very carefully put my hand on the trunk of the tree.
It feels pleasantly warm to the touch.
Okay.
Very very smooth. It feels good.
Okay.
You've actually, I don't know if you've ever touched a tree before, but you're not sure if this is how all trees feel or what, but just like you feel really good touching this tree.
Do I feel anything like I've had a lot of like weird feelings from the spirits that I've hung with and from my mentor Cilia, and do I get any kind of sense like that, any kind of feeling along those lines, like that feeling that I get when I'm working on my song, or that feeling that I get when I'm like when I'm kind of trying to engage with this spiritual life? Do I get that kind of feeling here?
Give me an insight. An insight check.
Not good at insight. Okay. Come on. That's a 3. I suck at insight.
Nothing in particular.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, it's a tree, except that there are stars in its branches.
I'm going to whisper very quietly. Do I sing it now?
You hear a whisper in your mind. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Mm. Then I'm going to pull my lute back around and capo it properly because I'm a good bard who knows how to capo things. And look back at Callista for a moment and nod a little bit.
But before you actually start playing, because I don't want to interrupt your performance. As soon as you hit the first few notes and call the words up in your mind, a different voice, the same one as before, the same one that warned you against this last time, says, "This is dangerous. Only if you're ready."
Well, I can't just keep sitting on it forever. I have to play it sometime. And I mean, I've only gotten so far in my journey, but I mean, when else am I going to be somewhere like this?
Wait, Amanya, before you start,
Yeah.
blessings on you, and I'll guide her.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just sitting in a corner muttering about how the tree is racist towards halflings. What else is new?
That's definitely it. It can't be anything else.
Exactly.
Definitely because I'm a half.
Exactly.
All right. Vera has got it figured out.
You know, I was going to go for the "it's because you're evil" thing, Grace, but then I realized that as a true neutral person, I don't really have a concept of good and evil.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say, I don't think anybody would be able to tell what happened with so few data points.
Right, so Almanya begins playing her song in its current state.
In its current state. As far as I've gotten, because I haven't gotten to go anywhere else to write more. The waters have risen, the sea is full of storms, our world is bloodied and barren, and pressed for home and hearth and warmth. Voices cry for mercy, their children starved and cold. The ground crumbles beneath our feet, our foes become so bold. In forests of bloody moonlight, we are made to die alone. The world is bathed in total darkness, and the gods have left their thrones. So the blood moon rises, and so the end is near. The lost stay lost, the dead stay gone, and we cower below in fear. But soon the sun will rise again. Soon the sun will rise again. On frosted barren plains we fight to keep our lives. The false king stands above us all, our spirits struggle to survive. But soon the world will whisper and the land will split anew. Our souls shall march to dawn again. Death cries out for life renews. Hope glimmers around us, a world too dim to save. But we will fight to bring together all who stand the strong and brave in forest, bloody moonlight. We are made to die alone. The world is bathed in total darkness, and the gods have left their thrones. And so the blood moon rises, and so the end is near. The lost stay lost, the dead stay gone, and we cower below in fear. But soon the sun will rise again. Yes, soon the sun will rise again. That's all I've got so far.
Mary, that's amazing.
Thank you. I've been working on it for a very long time.
No.
Beautiful.
All of you watching and listening see Elmania playing her song. Elmania, you watch as the pinpoints of light in the branches, right, brighten until they're right. They are almost other suns in the sky. And the room around you occasionally vanishes. Just kind of weird moments where you're not sure if you're just blinked, but everything around you just disappeared and then came back. And in those brief moments, you get not visions, but very powerful impressions. You're standing in a very important place. You're singing that song, not as it is now, but more matured. Right? It is in an infant state, but the song that you're singing is matured. It's ready. Other voices are singing it as well. Some are singing it through you, and others are singing it with you. Your friends are there, and other allies are there, and they are holding back the enemy that has come to stop you from singing that song. And it is very, very important that you not stop singing. And you get that in just brief flashes as you perform your song under this tree. You gain the benefits of a long rest.
Sweet.
Sweet. And as the song kind of comes to a close, you all suddenly realize that the tree is much thicker. The branches on the ceiling have spread out even further, and the roots have spread out along your feet, and there are actually legionaries who are backing away as what they just like hacked and cleared and dragged away is now like rapidly growing out towards them. And that grows out, and the radius expands another 5 or 6 feet and then slows, and as the song ends, stops.
So did we hear it? I mean, we heard the thing.
You heard the song.
Vera does that thing where she touches her face and it's wet and she doesn't remember why.
Karina is just unabashedly crying. Like, fully weeping.
Well, that did something. Nice to know that at least it sort of works.
Yeah, now we have more things to clear. I thought you were going to move the tree. And
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was gonna do.
Another legionary just like backhands him in the face, and you can see him going, dude, shut up.
I want to. What does Callista look like? I want to know what Callista is.
Callista is not down here.
Oh, okay. It's just
Callista is not allowed to enter until the Legion has essentially deemed the entire area safe.
okay.
Which is not yet done.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what it would do, but it did something. Damn. There's a lot. I like look at Ma and say, "There's a storm coming. I don't know when or where, but something's coming." I assume the light of the suns basically has disappeared and it's back to kind of stars.
It's back to just those twinkling little stars.
Okay, there's definitely something going on down here. I wrote that song to fix the world, and well, I'm still working on it, obviously. But something reacted to it. Shit. God.
Can I like start to sneak closer to it slowly?
Yeah. Are you give me a stealth check.
No, I'm not sneaking. It's more like really cautiously walking and like checking every inch if it's going to attack me.
Okay. How close are you getting? Like, are you walking within the radius of its branches?
Yeah, because I thought it was like expanding towards me, but as it grew.
It just the radius of the roots and the branches that are spreading out, right? They've hit the ceiling and then gone horizontal because they can't keep going up. That radius has expanded by about 5 or 6 feet.
All right, so I'm going to pause right outside the radius and just look up at it
Okay.
and glare at it.
Your
Okay.
fiercest glare at a
I
tree.
didn't like you.
Well, you appear to like a rather remarkable person whom I like very much as well. So, can we talk? And I'll just hold up my, like, do this into the radius.
Poke. Bubble.
I poke it.
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Persuasion. Sorry, everything's covered up.
As all of that is happening, can I like whisper a little bit to the air, like, how was that? Was it good?
17, not terrible.
17. Almanya, you also hear what Vera is about to hear.
Okay.
Vera, you hear a voice explode in your mind that says, "No! Purveyor in the misery of others!" You can see that the branches and leaves are all of different kinds of trees, and a bunch of them start to whip around, and you can see that parts of it that look like they came from pine trees, the needles come hurtling off and towards you, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Can I have it with advantage? Because I was expecting this. Like, the whole point is, like, I'm taking the dodge action as I
I'll give you
approach.
advantage. Yeah.
Thanks. Sorry, was that acrobatics? What was that?
Dexterity save.
Dex? Save. Cool.
You should be good at those.
I am good at those, but sometimes 24.
Cool. You take 8 points of piercing damage.
Ouch. This thing is mean. And I'm feeling judged righteously.
You have been thoroughly judged.
Yep.
So Elmania, you heard that as well. The rest of you just saw the tree whip around and hurl needles at Vera.
Shit,
that
dude.
pierced her leather armor. I'm sorry, you're not wearing leather.
Not wearing any leather armor.
It definitely like pierced and stuck in, almost like she ran into a porcupine or something. And then others like hit the stone floor around Vera and like bounced. They didn't, softly flop like pine needles, would. They actually hit almost like they're tipped with iron or something and scatter across the floor.
I'm angry at us now.
Okay, calm down. Okay. I thought we were having a moment, but apparently not. Okay. I motioned for Maud to stand back. I'm like, okay.
Almania's standing between the tree and Vera, surrounded by all of the greenery.
I'm like, all right, okay. Don't. Like,
I'm just gonna say aloud to it. I don't usually lose my temper, but I'll have lost my temper with it because I don't like to be accused of that. And what do you know about what misery is?
Ma, I would not
I protect myself. I protect my own. Exactly as it seems you're doing. What's your justification?
Does not respond.
Okay. Hi, tree. I don't want to refer to you as tree. Do you have a name that I don't know? Guardian being that you are?
It's the response is spoken not so much as a name, as a purpose. And you get back, dig, break, constrict, dig, deeper, 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 break. And that just kind of, just a gentle litany of that.
Okay.
And you get you again, not like a vision, but just as you get the strong impression of roots slowly, filling in the cracks in stone and then expanding those cracks, slowly drawing the stone apart, going down and down and down towards a goal.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. Hello, my name is Almania. You might say I am singer, saver of world,
And very humble.
Extraordinarily humble.
Extraordinarily humble. I have a purpose too, okay? I have a purpose. I'm trying to fulfill it. Singer, creator, saver of world. Whatever works for you. Hello. Please don't hurt the people in this room. We're trying to figure out a messy situation. I apologize for any of us disturbing you. I have some questions, if you wouldn't mind my asking. Since I guess we have a bond now, this is new for me.
You're hearing just a gentle litany in the back of your mind.
What is it down? What are you digging towards? What's down there? What is it?
The The tree cannot articulate an answer to that question.
Okay.
It doesn't know.
Okay.
But you are again treated to kind of that strong impression of roots slowly growing into the crack of something extremely strong and difficult to break, and then ever so slowly growing into that crack and expanding. Growing a little bit deeper into the crack and expanding, and just ever so slowly breaking that thing apart.
Why is it here? Like, why do you have to be here? Can you only get to it from here?
The impression that you get is that whatever that thing is directly below this spot.
Okay. Do I get the sense from this thing that it really is a tree, like that it is a plant?
It's absolutely a tree.
Okay. Is there like anything else unusual about it? Like, I've seen trees before. This is not like,
I mean, yeah, you just walked through a forest of just truly massive trees.
yes. Is there anything about like the feeling that I get from it? Is there anything about it that speaks differently to me than from the impression that I've gotten from these druids about their communication with trees? Like, does this inherently seem like a different thing?
What trees? Oh, sorry, what druids?
Like the guys who I was talking to earlier, the plant people who were with the heart of the tree.
The two jaegers that cut the heart out?
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Like some kind of plant or nature knowledge. Does this kind of seem different from the way that they seem to interact with nature?
I mean, all you saw was a couple of jaegers who had a certain different aesthetics to their appearance and who appeared to know something about nature. Take an axe to a tree and pull some kind of large heart out of it and stick it in a bag. Like,
Okay.
there was no communication that happened between them and the tree.
Okay.
I would have to say is a very undruid-like thing to do.
Yeah.
I think
I did not know that I was going to become a druid in this campaign. This is funky.
without a more specific question, the only thing I think I can respond is you've never done this with a tree before.
Okay.
Josh, I actually have a question going back to the description of the tree. You said it was white like alabaster.
Yeah.
Does it look like the wall around Vreem at all? Is there any similarity? Because the wall of Vreem looks like it grew out of the ground.
Yeah, like the wall of Vreem is monolithic, right? There's not, cracks. It wasn't like built brick by brick or anything. I mean, in that both are almost perfectly smooth and white. Yes, they're very similar. This is definitely wood and not stone.
I look over towards Karina and I say, okay, I know that you've got this thing with trees. I'm talking to this tree right now. Just so we're on the same page. There's something underneath the ground that it wants to get to, and I don't know what it is, but it's trying to get there. And I need somebody to go and talk to the matriarch and ask if there's any weird shit underneath this ziggurat temple that could potentially be very dangerous if something else got their hands on it.
Okay, guys, while he's gone, quick, let's do something big, right? Like,
we blow the tree up. Go ahead.
The time where talk is over.
Yeah.
I suddenly drop an incendiary in the middle of this.
I'm frankly
so you
waiting
know I
for
will
that.
cut you.
First of all, actually, long story short, you look up, you see flowers. I look up, I see stars. I don't know why, but there are stars up there. Number 2, I just had like a weird impression that there's going to be some big catastrophic moment in the future. More into that later. Number 3, the tree got very angry at Vera, saying that she caused suffering. That's why tree is pissed off. Don't know how the tree knows that. Anyway, part 4. Tree says that it wants to get down into the ground and that there is something very important and powerful underneath the ziggurat. I thought, Silhelune is the goddess of the moon. I was like, oh, everything's up in the air. Like, that's great. And there's water and that's chill. There's something underground. And that concerns me because this tree is trying to get there. And that's why it's here. So it doesn't seem to really know much about it, except that it just needs to get there. So I need somebody to go up and talk to Callista and see if she knows anything about this place and what's underground. Because this thing is trying to get to something, and that's just a little concerning. So yeah, I can communicate with this tree now. This is my legacy, I suppose.
And this is my conclusion.
I can talk to a tree. I looked at a tree. I'm good. And I look at Vera and Karina and Constantine like, everybody feel me? Everybody get what I'm... Yeah?
That's not fair.
I didn't ask. I didn't ask it.
I love him.
I'm sure you... I look up at the tree and goes, I just want you to know. I pat the trunk and go, I just want you to know. This girl loves you.
I didn't... See, the thing of it is that I didn't really believe in the stories until I was here. And now I totally believe in the stories, and it's not fair that he's speaking to you and not to me.
I would gladly give you the weird sentient connection I now have with this tree. This was not something I attempted to do. I apologize deeply. I'm very, very sorry. I'm just now slightly concerned that they want to take out this tree, which is understandable in a sense. This is a holy place. And they're trying.
He's here.
Yes, this was a holy place before the tree was here. The tree is a new addition to the holy place. They are trying to restore the holy place. I understand it. I'm just trying to work through a bunch of stuff. Anyway, my brain is very full right now. Okay, so
what?
I need to know if there is something dangerous, because that could be the difference between torching the tree and not torching the tree. Love you, tree. You're doing a great job. Keep working, boo. Okay, so because if there's something dangerous, and I don't know, a root touches something explosive and destroys all of us, that's a little concerning. I just want to know if there's some immensely powerful artifact underground or something along those lines that it could be dangerous if this tree touches it.
Well, what did the matriarch say when you talked to her?
We didn't exactly discuss if there was a bomb underneath the ziggurat.
What did she say she was going to do with the tree?
She said that she wants to take out the tree, but also we don't really know anything about it. And so we said we would come down and do some more investigating. But between her and her goddess, she's trying to restore this to an original state because the tree is blocking the flow of water, and water is apparently very important to their religion. And the tree is blocking the rain, and so they can't let water into the sanctuary anymore. Which, look, everybody, this temple was built for a specific purpose. This sanctuary was built for a specific purpose. This is the one place that they feel the closest to their god, and they currently can't feel close to their god because there is another presence here.
Well, you're the one talking to the tree, so can you ask it to move?
Sure. Hi. I go up and touch the white trunk again. I love how pretty this tree is. Almania's just this is a very pretty tree. I grew up in a city. This is a very pretty tree. Is there any, how did you get here? digger of the earth, roots
there's-
pushing towards cracking stone.
There's no impression of there being a before being here.
Can you please, is there any way that you could leave this place and find a different place to root with better soil and more nutrients where you could thrive?
You get the impression of kind of a face with human, half-elf, elven features, and a voice commanding it to dig, break apart, dig deeper, go down.
Is somebody telling you to do this?
Same voice, same command. Or sorry, that face again, same command.
Does it look like, so it doesn't look like the face of like a dryad or anything like that? Nothing that is very specifically like Fae-esque?
A little bit Fae, but more human than actual Fae.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Karina. Okay. Here's the thing. There's somebody commanding it to do this.
So let me hold you right there. Constantine, what are you doing during all of this? You getting in on the effort here, or are you doing something else?
I am hanging with the crew because that's the one I signed up with. I'm shuffling uncomfortably when the ladies start to spat. And then I kind of look at the tree, and when she mentions like moving, I just kind of lean up and push on it. Move.
You push an extraordinarily solid tree.
Gentle nod of respect from Constantine, like, yeah. I appreciate it. I approve. I just imagine Constantine in my mind is like big and buff and like deeply like approving of everybody else who's big and buff. Like, yeah, I see you and your hard work. And he sees this tree that's clearly big and buff for a tree and is like, I see you and your hard work, tree.
Is Constantine doing anything else?
Are there any other Jaeger crews around? Can we still see them clearing out the area?
No, the bodies have all been removed. And the lower level Jaeger parties definitely don't want to come back down here. As far as they're concerned, their job is done. And the Broken Legacy, I mean, they got paid to not do anything, and they were okay with
that. Okay.
Except that Riff the Merciless is probably stomping around the Legion camp like, all right, where the fuck is she?
I have disguise self. So
I start.
You can turn it on.
Go ahead, Constantine.
Can I start pacing around the tree and seeing if there's a way to climb it?
Yeah, you're fairly certain that you could climb it. It's got plenty of branches.
Okay. I want to climb up to the lowest branch and see if I can reach one of the flowers.
Okay.
I'm in plate armor, but I'm gonna make it work.
For shits and giggles, give me an athletics check.
Woohoo! I get to roll a dice.
Yes. Roll that dice.
Oh!
I fall on my ass.
This is why it's for shits and giggles, because literally any other roll and you climb the tree just fine. You get into the tree within reach of flowers.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You go fly on your ass and then you climb the tree.
No, it kicks you off.
no, it's just you, Vera.
I know. We're going to talk about that.
I just want to examine the flower and contemplate plucking it, but not quite yet as I listen to the conversation.
Wise, very wise.
Okay. You're up there for a little bit, and you've gotten yourself really set. And as you contemplate plucking the flower, you suddenly slip and just land flat on your back on the ground.
Ouch.
And you were pretty certain that you were secure. And you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you slam. The wind is knocked out of you as you fall with the added weight of plate mail flat on your back from 15 feet up.
Damn. Okay, bad idea.
So at some point during this conversation that's happening, you guys hear like clank, 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 metal scraping across wood, a few seconds of silence, and then wham! And you look over and see Constantine like a turtle on its back.
I stare there and nurse my wounded pride.
Okay. Catch your breath.
I acknowledge the look of nursing wounded pride and ignore him as if nothing happened. I was going to be like, "Are you all right, man?" But then I'm like, "Nah, he's just got to oil up that dignity. He'll be fine."
Right?
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Grace.
I was just wondering if I could respond to the last thing Almania said.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm in, but Karina, unless you want to do something.
No, she just has a suggestion. She's going to make in a minute, so go for it.
Oh. Because I think the last thing Almania said was something like somebody put it here.
Yeah, I said some. Yeah, I what I was saying was there's somebody telling it to do this. I think somebody planted it here and is using it to push all the way down to whatever it is that's underneath this.
So through this entire conversation, Vera's been listening, but it's just been like ashen-faced and stone-faced. But the minute she hears that, there's just like a look of something like relief. And she just goes, "So it's a trick. Obviously. Makes perfect sense.
What do you mean it's a trick? I mean, there's
I mean,
definitely
there's someone behind it. It's not. I thought, based on what Karina has been saying, that it was some kind of god. But if there's a person behind it, I mean, of course.
I mean, it could be a god being controlled by something, but I don't think that's.
Not
think
much of a god if it could be controlled.
Well, you never know the gods in this world. I go back up to the tree and touch it and go, "Are you a god? Are you a god?"
The word itself doesn't register, so whatever your vague understanding of what a god is just kind of what gets communicated, and the closest analog that the tree can come up with is the ground. And it is not the ground.
Interesting. But a tree sees the ground as its god.
It lives in the ground and it draws sustenance from the ground, but its concept of itself is as definitely something separate from but dependent on the ground.
Who's telling you this? Who's telling you to dig?
Same face, same voice.
You know who I think would know, or could know?
Who?
We should ask that fella that we picked up, that philosophizing fellow.
Oh, you're right. Off might know something.
We should get off.
No, a lot about everybody.
Oth does know a lot. I love Oth. We should go get Oth. Somebody should go get Oth. I think I have to stay here with this tree. Mostly because I'm slightly concerned that if I leave and I can break that connection in some way, then I'm never gonna be able to get it back. So I should stay here with the tree. Ma, do you want to go get Oth?
Yes, I don't particularly like the idea of leaving it with you, considering it's clearly a manipulation. But yes,
I mean, I'll
we'll
just
go
think
get more
to it again
information.
if it's feisty. It seemed to
I
like that.
will head back upstairs and go get off and have an existential crisis on the stairs.
Vera, what took you so long? What are you talking about? I went straight there and came.
I had a
straight
panic
back.
attack.
Um,
No, she does not have a panic attack, but she's not wanting to address some questions.
by the time Vera gets back with Oth, it's fairly late in the day. The sun is starting to go down, and you guys are told like you've got about an hour to figure this out. And at that point, the Legion is taking the tree out.
Okay. Great.
Or actually, they'll pay you guys to take it out, but otherwise, they'll give the job to one of the other Jaeger groups.
When Oth comes down, I'm just gonna go, oh, thank gods. Oth. Oth.
Oth is large and does not fit through a lot of the hallways here. So you watch as he forms to fit the shape of the corridor. And so like for brief moments, Oth is like a 10-foot tall, 4-foot wide, and like 20-foot long box that just like slides across through the hallways here.
Question.
Oth arrives down here in the sanctuary. Constantine.
I was about to say, Constantine hasn't met him.
I just texted
Oh.
like, off.
So great.
Constantine, you don't know who they were talking about with Oth, but Vera comes back with a very large slime wearing a cloak. Initially,
He's our best friend.
what you first see of him, it is basically just like a really tall hooded figure that looks kind of bulky but weird underneath this cloak. And then you realize that the hands coming out of the sleeves of the cloak are actually just long, like green tentacles that you can see through. Like it's just this gelatinous being inside a cloak. Usually you kill this kind of...
I raise my axe, but then say, how do you do?
A half-orc. Yes. And what of the half-orcs are, which half-orc are you? There's just a voice emanating out of this hood. There is tension again. This one looks around at you guys and is like, he has not heard the joke.
He hasn't. It's okay.
Individual of the half-orcs. A Shoth goes into a pool and says, I am having a goo time.
Maria just starts like cracking up in the corner. She's heard this and she's still like, yes.
Tension has not reduced. Half-orcs have a sense of humor, yes?
When there's something funny, yeah.
Oh, Constantine, you have no sense of humor. Look at this amazing person. Slime being.
74% of the individuals who have heard the joke thought it was funny. I will go with the majority in this matter.
It's really good. Just straight up comedy.
Lower my warhammer and back away.
As you do that, can you make a quick wisdom saving throw?
Me?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my computer that I had up is completely frozen. Can I roll a dice in front of you?
You may.
Because it died and it's like blinking out between a black screen and not.
You can add a 1 to whatever you roll.
No, cocked.
I don't need to see it. Just roll it on your desk. That works.
7.
Cool. Constantine, you don't know this creature, but you feel really friendly about it. You're pretty sure that you can become fast friends pretty quickly. It's a slime, but like it's a good slime. This guy's awesome.
He looks kind of muscly, maybe, under that slime.
Under CrossFit. Is Constantine a CrossFit is a personality guy?
We all know it's true.
I'm working out.
You're pretty sure that whatever this being is, it works all the same glamour muscles that you do.
Sweet. You know, I'm a little slow. I guess it's kind of funny, that joke you told. Let me think about it. Goo time. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
You should think about it for about 57 minutes.
So after that, it might have lost its charm, but I feel you.
Yes.
Lost its charm.
I look at Oth like, Oth, my dear friend, I have so many things I need to ask you.
Yes. That is a tree. A large tree. An interesting tree.
Yeah, right? Okay. First off, we're gonna start from the beginning. When you look up at the tree, up into the branches, do you see flowers or do you see stars? Or do you see something different?
And has Oth come under the tree's radius? Sorry,
Yes.
I was offering sacrifice to my household gods and missed for a moment. That's close where I had to feed the dog.
Kanes.
The Kanes are the Penates.
Yes.
He oozes his way right over to it.
My boy.
The
Man,
tree
this
does
disgustingly good party.
the tree does not react.
Disgusting of you people.
Good.
To
Vera,
choose moral rectitude.
Your assumption that it's because you were a halfling is
Yeah.
only strengthened.
Well, yeah. I think I've got an idea
Good
now.
aligned halfling to come down here.
I have seen only some trees of this color, but they were underground and dead. And this one appears quite alive.
Yeah. Agreed.
Color likely achieved because of lack of sunlight, thus lack of proper cellular activity. Yes.
Can you move it?
Or, wait, wide variety of leaves from same species. That is unusual.
That is
And
very...
he just, unless you guys ask him a specific question, he's just kind of oozing.
I just did.
Observating God. So let's start with Karina.
Can you move it? Can you get it to move? Can we move it?
Your questions are quite broad. Yes, I could move it in pieces, likely. Too heavy as it is.
Can you move it as a whole living unit?
Question has been answered.
So no.
Correct. Too heavy. Elmania, What are you asking? Your
Can't hear you.
Almania, your mic doesn't appear to be working. Maybe try muting and then unmuting yourself. No.
Sorry.
This is the perfect time for Mary's mic to die. Still can't hear you. Oh. Nope.
Now? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Now.
Okay. I asked a question that was not answered. What I asked when he looks up, does he see flowers or stars or something else?
I see flowers. Strange flowers. Don't recognize.
Okay, so here's the thing, Oth. I see stars when I look up, but everybody else sees flowers. I don't know why. Also,
Evidence of combat. You have scrapes, cuts, bruises. Yes, some near cranium. Wait, you're a bird. He can't. Potential head trauma. And Elmania, you feel a familiar way of healing magic pass over you and affect nothing.
I still see stars, but I had a weird religious experience with this tree just a second ago. You weren't here. Oh my gosh, Oth, I have to play you my song. I played a fancy song, and the tree is now speaking to me.
There is a smell in the air reminiscent of, yes, several common hallucinogens. Those effects should fade with time.
No. Look, I'm the one that did the hallucinogens, and I don't see stars. And I also don't hear the tree speaking.
Perhaps relevant to Iherin alternate biology affects them differently.
Okay.
Is it quite simply a magical construct being projected here by some sort of arcane or natural magic, and it is therefore affecting the minds of my friends?
It appears to be a tree that exists and grows and lives.
Okay.
To know further would require some time and study. Ooh, can we stay and experiment and study?
We can.
No, they're going to burn it.
We've got an hour. But I have
It's not a lot of time.
Yes. I have one more question. You know a fair amount about this temple, or about the bits and pieces that you've collected since we found you. Correct?
Clarification needed on precise usage of word no. I opine much about it and have collected numerous archaeological samples from the region around it. I know very little.
Okay. Have you heard any stories or seen anything on the walls? You know, because you've collected a lot of information about something that about this temple being built on top of something else. Because so here, let me tell you the story from the beginning. Because I know you love a good story with information. Okay, so I came in. I was trying to figure out a way to get the tree to move. I played a very important song that I've been writing. The tree got bigger as I was playing, and then told me that it was digging very deeply and breaking through the ground and trying to get to something. And then I realized that there is somebody else controlling the tree, or that is telling the tree to do something. And the tree is trying to get to something underground here, something potentially powerful. I wanted to know if there is any information that you know about something being buried underground here that's important.
And you are quite certain that these strange sights and voices in your head are not due to your friend's hallucinogens.
I've had a lot of voices in my head before. This is a, you know how I died and now there's another voice in my head, and then there was a voice in my head that tells me when to sing certain songs. This is a different voice. So it feels like that.
In human and other humanoid books, I'm told to move my mic closer, so I'm doing that. My brief excursions into humanoid literature suggest that you should get those checked out. However, it is entirely possible that a tree displaying such bizarre features could indeed be magical. In response to your direct questions, no, I know nothing of anything specific buried underneath this place.
Were from your knowledge collecting, were temples or important cities or things like that often built on top of old places that were potentially powerful at one point or another?
You speak of ley lines. Yes. Beings sensitive to such forces tend to converge at, on, or near such confluences of power. It is possible that this rests upon such a confluence.
Can you touch ley lines? Is there to them?
That is highly inadvisable.
Okay. What would happen if I were to touch a ley line? Or someone, I'm not saying me. What would happen if somebody touched one?
No, because so far as I know, no one has ever touched one. And in response to your rather pertinent question, it is unknown whether they possess physicality as we are familiar with it.
Huh. I'm gonna look back at the tree and press my hand against the white tree. Say, wow, I'm learning so many things today about you. I don't even know what cells are, and yet apparently you don't have enough cellular regeneration. I don't know. That's new. I don't know anything about cells. Are you trying to touch a ley line? Is there magic you're trying to get to?
The impression that you get again is some kind of something that it is trying to break apart.
Wants to break something. Can you break a ley line? Is that possible, Off?
Again, its exact physicality or lack thereof is unknown. It is a source of tremendous power that in theory can be tapped into, but otherwise unknown. However, if knowledge of other such sources of power can be relied on, breaking something that cages tremendous power results in tremendous destruction.
Huh.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Vera.
Oh, I was just going to toss in there. It sounds more like it's trying to break into a safe that is under it, with something valuable inside.
Perhaps the essence of whatever Callista's deity is.
But her deity is one of the moon. The moon isn't here. It's up there.
And it's broken, but I mean,
I mean,
But
unless there was
there,
a piece of it.
but it is an interesting theory you had that this temple could be built on an older one or on something that came before. And perhaps something is buried here that is a container of some sort.
It concerns me that this thing is trying to break down into it. And it doesn't want to move. It won't move because something is telling it to stay here and keep digging. And all of this talk of breaking into things that are very dangerous and full of destruction doesn't sit well with me.
Agreed, especially since we don't know who this man behind the curtain is.
Yeah.
What does he look like? Or what impression do you get of the person behind this?
Josh, can you say one more time what it looks like? What the face?
Humanoid, half-elven, elven features, tapered ears, fine bone structure, but not as fine as you typically see on an. You haven't seen a lot of elves, but stronger jaw, little thicker bones than you would think on an elf, but with the tapered ears.
Hair color, eye color?
Yeah, say skin color, eye color, hair color.
It's mostly just the face, not a lot of other features.
So skin color.
Good question. Weathered, tan. It is definitely a face that has been touched by the elements quite a bit.
No noticeable tattoos or earrings or anything? Okay. I relay all of that to Vera. And Oth and Karina, obviously, and Constantine. Something like that. Possibly half elven, something fey-like. Looks like maybe they've had it a bit rough.
You say out of doors, that implies to me, and of course the evidence of the tree implies, I don't know, some druidic
Possibly.
magic rather than arcane or religious. See, I have learned.
So proud. Something like that. But I don't know who or why. I mean, except for maybe to possibly get some kind of power or destroy this place. Both of which seem bad in my mind. I don't know. Karina, what do you think?
well, I think that if something has charmed this tree to be here, then perhaps someone else could either break the charm or convince the tree to bend to its will instead.
Or we could cut it down.
I have dispel magic. That's the extent of what I have. We could destroy it.
Elmania, the impression that you got from kind of its response to "Can you move?" was it was not being forced, but it was given an instruction
Okay.
by someone with authority whom the tree trusted.
Okay.
You didn't get the sense that it was being coerced. It was just it was told to do this, and this is its purpose.
Okay.
Does it indicate what it wants with whatever it is that's down there?
I'll ask. Breaker of the earth and stone, digger of things. What do you want that's down there, or what do you want with it? What will it do?
The response is the same. Its purpose is to grow into the cracks of this thing and break it apart.
And what will you do when you finish that task?
I'm not sure trees have a concept of time.
It has not been given any other instruction. So it'll do what a tree does. It will grow, continue to grow its garden. That's not what a normal tree does. I don't know. It will
tree path around.
yeah, it will continue to grow and cultivate the garden around it.
Almania, I assume you're forwarding this to us.
Yeah.
Almania, did you say it said its goal is to break it apart, not to break it open?
Yeah, to get its roots into whatever it is and expand and break it, whatever it is.
Break it apart. That implies to me that it wants to destroy something, not, as I've previously thought, open it or get at something inside of it. Break it apart.
I mean, it could be either. What's
Well,
down?
we've got
Underground rivers? Magic? Ley lines? A giant sphere? It's the first.
Equipment. The Legion is beginning to bring equipment kind of down into the room and get it set up, as it looks like you guys have not made any progress. You've still got time, but not a whole lot.
Tell it that it is going to be destroyed imminently if it does not move.
Okay. Breaker of snow in the earth. The people here have the intent to destroy you unless you move. And I don't want them to have to do that. But I don't know what else to do. What do you want me to do? What will stay their hands?
Josh,
Yeah.
real quick, I just want to get in here too before and try to help Almania out here.
Yeah.
So Karina will walk up and put both hands on the tree kind of opposite where Almania is. And just in her mind's eye will envision the destruction of that village that she's been told about from eons ago and try to convey that that's what's going to happen here. And just try to help Almania, however, if that's helpful at all, just before if she'd get a bonus or something.
That will cancel out the disadvantage. So Almania, can you roll a persuasion roll, please?
Okay. Natural 20 with a plus 7. Fuck yeah.
That beats it very hard.
No, the DC was 25. Like, it was a very hard DC. Holy shit. Okay.
Man, Vera wanted that thing to burn.
Constantine didn't
So
care. He just
mad.
wanted the money, but
So mad.
Almania, the impressions that you get back are like worms digging through the earth, forming passages to make it easier for roots to kind of grow into those. And you get the strong impression that you and some of your party are like the worms, essentially. Right, and the kind of the sense you get is, yes, right, I'm going to resist that destruction, and you guys will fight with me. And you share in kind of what the impression that the tree gets from Karina, and you, right, Karina is now communicating in a similar way that the tree communicates to you, kind of throwing in, right, images of slow corruption and death, and right, just ultimate
Defilement.
And so the tree kind of stops. And you see as its branches start to unwind from the lattice, right? That kind of comes down and tapers to a point near the trunk, and very slowly starts to, almost like fingers, right? Slowly releasing from it, and starting to spread. The roots kind of start to pull out of the pool, or that sits kind of right underneath where this lattice tapers down, and it slowly seems to be moving. You can feel movement in the ground, and you get the sense that roots are being pulled from deep in the stone. And as it kind of starts to slowly shift, you can see it had torn apart and formed these massive cracks in the stone of the floor here, and done tremendous damage to actually get down to the earth beneath this worked stone. It's moving really slowly, but it does appear to be moving.
Awesome. I motion to the Legionnaires. I go, it's working on it. It's moving. Give it some time.
All of the Legionaries, as soon as it started moving, took, 1, 2, maybe 15 big steps back, as it started to kind of shift.
I pat the tree on the trunk like, you're doing great. You're doing great.
It definitely cannot fit through any of the exits to this room, but it is no longer, or soon, it will no longer be blocking where you can see now the water would fall and drip and spill down and splash on the lattice down into kind of the pool basin at the bottom.
Nice.
There's a lot of damage done, and I'll assume you guys kind of stay and watch the whole process.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but first, Karina
Unless Vera
grabs
wants to
Almania.
Oh, what are you doing, Karina?
Karina grabs Almania around her feathery little waist and hoists her up and does a quick dance around and kisses her on both cheeks.
Thanks.
Oth is just kind of standing there going, this is fascinating. Also, Almania, I do not think any longer that you were hallucinating.
Thank you.
Seems
More information for you.
accurate.
Thank you.
But yeah, the tree shifts. It doesn't go far, but it is no longer inhibiting anywhere that the water would fall down. It shifts over so that kind of the base of the trunk is maybe 10 feet away from the bottom of the pool.
Okay.
And then you can see it kind of stops, and you see as tiny, from kind of the huge roots that have shifted over, you can see tiny little ones starting to grow down into the stone, and just very slowly kind of start to thicken. It's about to start burrowing again.
But it's moved away from the lattice, and that's what Callista wanted, right?
But it's no longer blocking the pool. So we'll close out the day with kind of the Legion observing all of this and eventually granting Callista permission to kind of come down and observe. because I know Grace is going to ask, Vera, the tree does not react at all to Callista.
Well, I knew that. I was more interested in the Legionnaires.
And as the Legionnaires are still not quite getting close to it, but we'll say over the course of the evening, some Legionnaires kind of step into the radius and look up and around nervously. And it seems to become a little bit of a sport for like 2 or 3 people to stand there and then like sprint for the trunk, touch it, and run back out.
I refuse to believe I am the only evil person in this room.
Hold on.
Please.
Occasionally, a Legionnaire is grabbed and hurled across the room, accompanied by much breaking of bones and quickly dragging them to medics. Oth is actually earns a little bit of goodwill from the Freemans as he's kind of running past, and he goes, "Ooh, I can help." And kind of just a totally unconscious Legionnaire goes, "Ow! Ow!" So, yes, there several Legionaries are thrown out. Does Vera stick around to try and notice patterns in that?
Please let there
Yes.
be a halfling that goes in and is just totally
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Actually, what I was going to say is going to... True. Vera's going to stick around and help as a medic, because that's her experience now with the Legion.
There you go.
But also be looking at who is being treated in
Vera,
such a
give
manner.
me an intelligence check.
Great, I'm not that smart. Wait a minute, isn't this more like insight than intelligence?
No, this is tracking patterns.
Yeah, patterns of like sketchiness, moral sketchiness.
Give me an intelligence perception. So if you are proficient, it's an intelligence check, but if you are proficient, you can add in perception, you can add your intelligence. Sorry, your proficiency bonus.
I'm
And you
double
have
proficient.
14.
So it's a D20 plus, I guess, double your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier, not your wisdom modifier.
Okay, so it's going to be this plus 6. Nice. 23.
So 50. No, 21 because it added 2 there.
Yes, and then my proficiency modifier is 3, and then it's doubled.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, 23.
Yeah.
There are no halflings among the
That's what I thought.
There's definitely a height requirement for standing in a shield
Oh,
wall.
come on.
I'm sorry. Like
Discrimination.
you can be tall enough to stand in a shield wall.
I'm going to hold it up like this.
So there are no halflings, but there are non-halflings who do get hurled across the room or have needles at them and whatnot. It looks to be the only pattern. There's no pattern that you notice, but the ratio of people who are hurled across the room to not hurled across the room is around 65-70% get thrown.
Oh.
Interesting.
So are you saying that most of the Roman legionaries are evil?
I'd be okay with
You couldn't have an
Sure.
evil alignment in
I
play of
don't know, Jenny. Does everything that you've heard about the Freemans match with the sentiment, I care for myself and my own, and I do what is necessary in that pursuit?
I'm just saying that in the player's guide, you're not allowed to be evil and play a Freeman.
Really?
Yes.
That
Unless
actually
you
is true.
changed that recently.
I'm gonna have to double check that. Anyway,
Interesting.
Let the-
Calista
yeah.
comes
Yes, I think
I'm immediately like dragging her over and explaining furiously like what is going on and how the tree just moved like 10 feet like away from this area and how now it's open and like can it stay here? I really don't want to damage it too much and I think it'll be fine over here. You'll still get your water in, etc., etc. I'm just like telling her everything that's happened. Like we're broke now. I can do
I
this.
like that you've decided that it's female.
Yes. She is great.
she's got flowers on her.
She's
Okay.
very
I'm pretty sure Karina thought it was male. I
That's
love
because-
him.
That's
she said.
because Karina's deity is male.
I mean, it's a tree.
There are male and female trees.
It has
Yeah, that's
flowers.
what I'm
It
thinking.
It could be both.
does have
Like
flowers.
trees.
Or stars. Almania, actually, one thing that you do notice is that when Callista walks in and looks up, there's a quick little intake of breath. And she kind of cocks her head to the side a little bit.
I go, okay. Do you see stars or do you see flowers? Or both or neither?
I don't know what I'm seeing, but it certainly looks like stars.
Oh, thank gods, it's not just me. Okay, flowers and there are stars. Oh, thank gods, we're gonna be great friends. Okay, and I start on my
George refuses to get near the tree. It's wigging him out. But
I'm just like explaining to Callista everything that's happened.
I
I'm like, okay,
have to know if George gets thrown, if he gets anywhere near it.
are you going to try and convince George to get near it?
No, I'm not that mean. Wait,
Okay.
I am evil, but I actually like him.
you do.
We'll close out the evening that way. Almania desperately like giving instructions to legionnaires about how to like not harm the tree, assuring the tree that nothing bad's gonna happen. It's fine. You're good. It's all wonderful. Just like don't grow over there. Karina thrilled that the tree is not torn apart and burned. Perth 2,000 gold lighter, but well worth it, I
Yeah.
assume. Ira fuming, confused, angry, and Constantine.
Constantine wants to go up to Callista and start bargaining for how, like, it was really, he deserves a bonus because he was standing there and he joined this group. And if anything had gone wrong, he would have fixed it. But really,
The fight was all you.
exactly.
I mean, look at
Like, they would have been dead.
nobody else is.
You
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, sweet. My computer's working again, so.
I just want to explain the situation to Callista and be like, hey, is there any way that we can like take care of the tree in this corner, give it like a nice place to like trying to kind of go through this whole process.
As you two are talking at Callista, like one on either side from both directions, I totally deserve this. I mean, look, there's not a scratch on Callista. Is there anything we can do to help? Like, what can we help you with? Jenny or Constantine, what's the total?
-1. I'm not persuasive, so 11. But really, no. I mean, no, I deserve the money.
You have a -1 charisma modifier?
A
My
plus.
persuasion is
I
minus.
might have to tell you that you can't do the accent anymore. Not with a -1. I'm kidding.
I started flexing my muscles. It was all these. It was all these.
And that's what does it.
George totally gets you.
As a personality.
George still hasn't put his shirt and armor back on yet, so like he's still just totally.
Oh
He gets
man,
it.
be bros.
I just like slap him on the back, like, you know what I mean, man.
Callista assures you that she will speak to the Legion about perhaps adding in a bonus. Almania, at the moment, they're gonna spend some time with the tree and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
But it depends on how long you guys intend to stay. So, to that end, do you guys want to use? Let's see. Shoji, I think, doesn't have any more slots. Yeah, she is out. Did you guys want to find Damya and use her sending slots this evening?
Yes.
So that you don't spend any tomorrow when you may potentially be leaving.
Yeah.
Wait, could have Shoji gotten her spells back sitting near the tree? I'm trying to see.
Is she going to go near the tree?
Well, I'm going to check what her alignment is first, because the last thing I want to do is kill Beth's
No.
character.
You don't know her alignment.
Ah,
So is she going near the tree or no?
I don't know what Beth would do. Like
Oh,
Beth
she
would
would
know her
totally go
alignment.
up to it.
Yeah.
Cool. Shoji gets hurled across the room and breaks
Okay.
many bones.
Hey. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that for the breaking bones. I meant to do that for fellow Team Evil.
Okay, so she doesn't get her spells back. That was the main point of this exercise.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So do you guys want to use Damya's sendings this evening?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. At your request, she did prepare those for today. Let me grab her character sheet.
Until I hit next level, and then I can have sending.
Yeah. Okay. Sending is a 3rd level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Damya is a. I don't know where I put her character sheet. How many slots does a 7th level cleric have? How many thirds? Is it 3?
I think it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
3 or 4, and I'm pretty sure it's 3.
I don't
Yeah,
think you ever get.
I think it's 3.
I think it's 3.
So we can go ahead and bring you guys around to your campfire at the end of the day to use those sendings. So who has a message that they want to send? Okay, so Vera and Elmania. Who would like to go first?
You can go first, Dalmania. I have some wording. I have to count my words.
I haven't counted my words at all.
I wrote this 2 weeks ago, and I'm trying to, but things might have changed based on today's events.
So, cool. While they count words, Karina and Constantine, what are you guys doing? Karina, I assume you're in disguise.
Do they know where our camp is? Where our
Yeah.
tent is?
Yeah, you guys are all in roughly the same area of the Legion camp.
Okay. Well, shoot, that just totally blows what I was going to do with my evening. But yeah, I'm probably going to be hiding inside my tent.
Okay.
Communing.
Constantine wants to find George and see if he just wants to grab an ale.
Sure. You find George and suggest the ale, and you watch as his face goes. Oh, can't. He looks like he just wants to just start sobbing.
Oh, come on, man. It's just one pint. We can go find a fire. We can chat it up, do some push-ups.
He starts like rocking back and like bouncing a little bit, like on his heels, like, yeah, look, I really want to, but it's look, like you drink a lot and you wake up the next morning and you regret it all, but not really, but you regret it all.
I've never drunk that much. I can handle my liquor, but I can imagine the feeling.
I mean, me neither. Like, it's just like what people, talk about. But like, supposedly, like when you get there, it eventually wears off. When you break an oath around these people, it doesn't wear off and I'd have to go all the way back to the Empire. I'd have to go to that stupid garden, giant.
Are you
stone
telling
thing.
me you took an oath of sobriety?
Don't you fucking tell anybody, all right?
I mean, honestly, I don't know how I'd do this job if I took an oath like that, but
Him soul, all right? I will find you.
my lips are sealed from one man to another. I respect, confused, but all right.
Like, seriously, they like shove your head in some water and it's cold as balls and there's a vision and it's just dumb. And I don't want to go through that again. I mean, some things are worth it. A pint or two, not quite.
Fair enough. All right. Do you want to go instead of drinking? Like we can play some games or something.
I'll bet you I can swim across the river faster than you, and you'll.
No.
But
No. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. And I'm running towards the river.
he takes off after you. I assume you're trying to desperately shed pieces of heavy armor as you go.
Pieces of plate mail on the way.
He's still shirtless, and he just kicks off his boots and just like takes off past you. Give me an athletics check.
Manly bonding.
Woo!
Oh shit!
Natural 20.
Shit!
I'm doing the butterfly.
He does
Just
not
Michael
have.
Phelpsing it.
He does not have a plus 17. So you know what? About a third of the way across the river, he's gonna grab you and try to shove you underwater.
He's gonna cheat. Oh, I love him.
I put him in a headlock.
Cool. What's your armor class? Oh, without heavy armor.
Yeah.
Well, cool. He's got you like around the back of the neck and like has shoved you underneath the water a bit. And you can feel his legs kicking in the water as he tries to pull ahead of you. What do you do?
I want to grab for his neck and try and bring him down with me.
Okay, give me another athletics check. This one with disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna need to go to the top.
6 plus 8 math 14.
14. Got George here. This is going to come down to the modifiers on this one. Okay, what's your total?
14.
14.
It was my 6 plus 8.
Give me an unarmed attack roll, so it'll just be a d20 plus your strength as you try to grab him and hold him back.
That makes me happy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. You grab him and pull him back, and then pull ahead. And we're gonna do one final check. This time, you have advantage.
Sweet. Athletics check.
Yeah. God damn.
Oh boy. That's a 13 plus 8.
He rolled a 5 plus not enough. Cool. So you managed to pull ahead and you grab the other shore right as you turn back. He's about 10 feet away, and you can see he has turned around to head back, and he shouts back, "It was there and back!" Give me another athletics check.
Oh man.
Oh.
Damn it! I can't roll 8. All right. You overtake him and make it back to the other shore before him. He's doing just lightning fast, and you're just these big, strong pulls through the water, and you get there about a body's length ahead of him. Well, shit. Well, now I want a pint.
I'd offer to buy you one, but those oaths.
You guys passed the evening in a series of contests of athletics and acrobatics and general male bonding.
I can't believe we almost killed him.
Karina.
I
Oh.
fucking rescued him.
One more thing. I was just playing my pipes and adding to my time that you're keeping track of for me
Cool.
inside the tent.
Okay.
I have, I think.
Go ahead, Almania.
I have
Ready?
my, I have my message
All right.
I'll
Who's it
send
to?
to my baby brother, Endon.
Okay.
See, baby brother.
So what is the message that you are sending to Endon?
I'm sending, please tell me you're alive. Where are you? Getting a group to save you. Saved a temple. Saving the world. Everyone safe. I love you.
Okay. Damia concentrates, casts the spell, sends the message. You see her kind of eyes closed for a little bit. There was no response.
Did it get to anyone?
I guess she ability. I don't know whether it reached anyone or not. So for your knowledge, Almania, either right there's obviously it's possible that he's dead. It is also possible that he is asleep. Won't answer, can't answer, or somehow the magic is actively prevented from reaching him.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one down.
Got mine if we've got another one.
All right, who are you sending it to?
Junior.
Okay.
And by the way, do we have an ETA if we leave tomorrow as to when we might potentially be in Onisher?
Yeah, Callista told you it's
It's like 3-4 days.
it was 2 to 5 days or so, and obviously things could go horribly wrong and it could take longer,
Right.
but potentially 2 to 5 days.
Good that we have like
Okay.
an entire legion that wants to come with us because we convinced them with music and good food that they should be our
That
companions.
is true. That is true. Okay.
But only 15 of them can fit in the boat.
True. So to Junior.
Okay, give me one. Oh, there it is. All right.
Hope to arrive 6 days by boat from Woad. Any updates? News on Theodosia or Talia Rusendal? Proud of you all for everything. Sorry I never said it before. Oh, and I want to start with my call sign so that he knows it's not a rando.
Because it's coming from Damia.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Theodosia. Theodosia, no resources, investigate. Let's try this. Okay.
What's great is I'm imagining this is exactly what Junior did because he knows the spell is only 30 words. So he's writing it down.
25.
It's 25.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worse.
Yeah, I'm using a Word document.
I'm just imagining him like writing, and he's like scribbling.
Because I think Junior is smarter than I am. I would have to check his score, but
Intelligence score, Josh.
Takes after his dad.
Theodosia, no resources, investigate. Death Watch, verminositors nearly gone. 60% territory gone to ghouls. Fortifying. Red Harvest devastating. Have to quarantine, execute, burn. Stay away.
Oh, okay. What do you say? Quarantine.
Have to quarantine, execute, burn.
Man, don't use that trigger word, quarantine.
I'm sorry.
Ever.
Look, I created the Red Harvest before COVID-19. Okay.
That just makes all of this your fault.
Yeah, there's some cosmic power.
Okay.
Does she have only two sending spells?
He's got one more sending left. So Elman, who's sending it and to whom? Elman or Vera?
I'll send another one if I can. Unless you want to get to it first, Vera.
Yeah, I don't.
You'll have 6 available tomorrow, but that will hamper the benefit to the party of those companions when if you decide to travel tomorrow.
Right. Are you going to try and talk to somebody else, Salmanya?
Yeah, one of my other siblings.
Okay. Can we roll for it?
Rude.
I'm
Sure.
sorry, but Vera would totally fight you on it.
Yeah.
With only one left. Do you want to just do a 20?
Yeah.
Because what would be even like 10 or below? I'll take 10 or below, and you can take 10 or above, or 11 or above.
Sure.
Does Vera pull out game dice and it's just like what?
Maybe,
Oh,
like seriously.
Meanwhile, Karina's sitting in the tent going, "Where did my dice go?"
Pretty much.
Do you want me to roll or do you?
Oh,
So-
how about you
so
roll?
how does-
Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. How does it work? Are you both rolling, or is one of you rolling and it's 1 through 10? It's 1.
I think we'll just roll one, and if it's below, if it's 10 or below, I'll do it, and then if it's 11 or above, Mary can have it. Sorry, Mary, it's just that Vera would be mad.
Go ahead.
I want you to have it.
No, it's yours now.
Oh dang. Okay. Well, now I have to think about what I was going to say. Um. Okay, here's what I will ask. Did Theodosia leave city? You have access to the tunnels. Coming anyway, but will be in contact. Not leaving you in that place.
No knowledge, no time, tunnels lost, Ralph, Jean killed,
Gosh.
Lyle attempt assassinate me,
Of course he did, the little jerk.
now missing,
Who tried to assassinate you? Sorry.
My freaking psychopath of a youngest son.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I knew it was a problem.
Illyriel cult have hangars, avoid docks, demon use, bring food,
So do you say demon use?
demon use,
Sorry, I'm just not hearing the audio.
as in use of demons.
Thank you. Okay. Man, I knew it would be a problem when I made one of my sons a psychopath. Thank you.
There were a lot of son daughter moments that were like written along a timeline, and
Mm-hmm.
we weren't
Yep.
in it.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, I'm sorry, Mary. You get total dibs on all of them in the morning.
That's
so those
better.
for the evening. Do you guys want to use some tomorrow as well? Amanya, I assume yes. Okay.
Yes.
You
So
got
let's
it.
bring it. We'll take a full night's rest. Constantine and George pass out somewhere. And we'll pick up in the morning here. So Damya and Shoji each have 3 third-level slots. So you've got up to 6 sendings. Do you guys intend to travel today, or are you sticking around for a while? Or do we not know yet?
I'm hoping to leave today, but
I was hoping to leave today. I wanted to go and sing down in the sanctuary, not really for the tree, like more of a connection to Silhelune, and see if anything happened. But that's not going to take too long. Like, I'm a performer. I can do that.
So if you guys want to leave today, do you want to use Shoji's spell slots, which will reduce her combat effectiveness for any combat encounters? Or do you want to use Damya's, in which case she will be able to support you less, and your ability to spend hit dice will be compromised, that is to skip encounters?
Dami is coming with us because I thought she was staying.
No, Damya is one of the people who's going with you.
She's
Okay.
joining.
Yeah, 300 years ago, she had family in Onishur.
Oh,
and she
right. Okay.
wants to see if any of them remain or their descendants.
I would say do Damya's just so that we're not crippling Beth's character without her permission.
Yeah, that's kind of a dick move. Yeah.
Okay. So Almanya, to whom are you sending a message?
I'm going to send another one to Endon. Same thing that I said before. Please tell me you're alive. Where are you? Getting a group to save you. Saved a temple, saving the world. Everyone's safe. I love you.
Okay. There is no response, but this time Damya is able to tell you it was blocked. It reached him, meaning he is alive.
Thank God.
But it did not, it didn't actually reach him.
Okay.
Meaning it was blocked somehow.
I'm going to try my other brother, Kvisa, who's closer to me in age. Kvisa he's the one who was teaching Talia's younger sister how to fight. He's he's like my partner in crime brother, you know, where Endon is like the I want to protect you and give you cuddles and you can tell me all about your science and math because you're a nerd. Kavisa is the like, yeah, we're gonna go build a fort and we're gonna like take over our imaginary kingdom and we're gonna eat food and we're gonna like go nuts. And I'd be like, hell yeah. So different sibling relationship, but also like very strong.
I knew there was a reason I asked him to look in on Brennis.
Yeah, he's a good boy. I love Kavisa.
Oh, righty then. Give me one moment. There it is. Okay. And what are you saying?
I'm saying, it's Almanya. Where are you? Where's Endon? Got taken out of city, trying to get home, trying to save you. Stay safe. I love you.
Okay. He's from the same clutch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's early morning. Okay. Glad you are alive. Thought dead. Endon, Tolsha, I, in trials. Fine so far. What else did you say?
I said, where are you? Where's Endon? Got taken out of city, trying to get home, trying to save you. Stay safe. I love you.
Okay. Not in Onisher. I mean, if they're in their trials, you know where they are.
Yeah.
Avoid it if you can. Too dangerous. Love.
Visa. I'm half tempted to also send one to Tulsha, just starting with motherfucker. There.
Was it Tolsha?
Do I want to talk to Tulsha? Oh my gosh. I do want to talk to Tulsha.
Okay.
For those, I'm like, God, she's such an asshole. I also deeply love my sister.
What are you gonna send to Tolsha?
What am I gonna send to Tulsa? I will not start with motherfucker, though I am like, hers just like, God, I don't want to start with that. What an asshole.
I love Brennan Lee Mulligan's pirate version of this spell, where like all curse words are free; they don't count against the 25 word limit. Fantastic.
Okay. Keep and save. It's on the line to find you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Save. Are you okay?
We'll go ahead and do this sending, and then you guys can roll your 3 on the follower table to pick up your last few, and then I don't think it'll take too long, but you guys can build your travel roster, because you have way more people currently than you can take, so you guys can essentially build your roster there, and then I think we'll go ahead and finish. And tomorrow, I wish it was tomorrow. Next week, we'll pick up with the journey back to Onisher.
And keeping in mind that the legionnaires that we bring have sketchy Vreem orders.
No, they're totally there just to support you guys.
They suck.
Does Damia still have one sending after Almania's last one?
No, because this is Damia's third, so any more and you'll have to do Shoji.
Oh, okay.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
While Almania's doing that, actually, why don't we go ahead and do those rolls? You get 3 rolls because you helped clear the ziggurat. So, how do you guys want to divvy up the rolls? One person do all 3, each of you 3 do 1.
I'm good for that. What do you think, Grace
Yeah.
and Jenny?
We can each do a roll.
Okay.
So Constantine, Karina, and Vera, each of you give me a roll.
Oh,
This is
I
a-
count.
This is a D20.
Of course you count. Yeah, just a straight D20.
I didn't dig it.
Well, we don't know what each number means, so who knows?
True. It's true. It's gonna be
It
awesome.
could be like a 1 is amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's a 2. So
And 11.
Oh, and that should have been from Karina. I don't know why it says Shoji.
Okay.
That's a
nine.
So, Constantine, give me a quick D8.
Okay, I have a message whenever. Ooh, 4.
Okay. So you get 4 more soldiers.
my bros.
You get a 4th level paladin of Silhelune, another one of the ones who was unpetrified.
Cool.
And a one of the metal fists, Vera.
Yes, I am so happy.
God damn it.
I get an astral fizz. I'm just gonna call it Fizz. I don't care what his or her name is. It's just Fizz.
And another 6th level jaeger who was unattached and participated in kind of the cleaning up of the surrounding neighborhoods, but not the actual taking of the ziggurat. Okay, Almania, you have a message.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's Almania. I'm alive. Trying to find you. Keep Endon safe. Are you okay? I have a lot to tell you. Can't contact Endon. Love you, stupid.
Awesome.
You get back. I was casting, you jerk.
Oh, come on.
You are not allowed to talk to us. They are going to take away my privileges now too. Thanks, sis.
Good
Okay.
explanation, though.
Asshole. I love her.
Yeah, not helpful.
It wasn't helpful. Like now I know that they took away his ability, like him being able to like hear me. So that actually does help. But it does like fill Almania's heart with like a little bit of joy to hear her sister be like, thanks, sis, with like the most like like 13-year-old girl, like door shut, like
The sending spell comes across, right, totally monotone, but you definitely heard like the thanks, sis.
you asshole. I'm like, I know.
Under the table.
I love you, you idiot.
Damia's like, aw, and you're like, asshole, and she's like, oh, okay.
Like, no. Fucking, I love her so, like, I like, Almania just, like, starts to cry, and she's like, I fucking love her so much, like, what? Cuts.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's where we're
Josh,
looking.
do Vera and I need to roll anything for our rolls? Any additional days?
Or did we just get the people?
Because you didn't have us roll a D8 or a D
No,
whatever.
the others, so some of them are like a D8 Freeman soldiers, and other
Gotcha,
ones
okay.
are like a 4th level paladin and a 3rd level Jaeger.
Because that sounded like it all came from Constantine's roll. That's sorry.
Oh, no. Okay. So we're gonna do a little bit of math here. Oh, I actually have to look up his monster sheet.
So just as a general thought, are you guys thinking maybe we take all of the quote unquote like named characters and then fill it out with soldiers? Would that work
think
for a
that's fair.
roster?
I think that's fair, and I think if we can take any magic users / healers, that would be a good idea because I'm the only healer and I have 4 spell slots.
Damian's the
Because I
healer.
know Dami is and the
Yeah.
paladin will help out too. So
But I mean, in the party proper, I'm the only healer and I have 4
right.
spells.
Yes. So I would say, yeah, make it as much jaegers as possible and then fill out however many slots we have left with Freeman soldiers. Because I don't think they're healers, they're foot soldiers. And it also means it's a lot easier for us to ditch them before we get there. Throw them to the
Sorry.
sea monsters.
I had a moment of, no, we can't do that. Then I remembered I'm not Talia and I don't care.
Yeah, I should warn you guys. Like, Vera is totally planning to throw those people in the drink before we actually get Tanisher.
I'm trying to contemplate the betrayal of this legionary who's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
we travel with Ma, and then she's like, yeah, you're overboard, sucker.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But I'll do something.
There he is. Okay.
So once I have time to read again, my friends, when I'm on break from college, which is the worst, I got this amazing book that I know Josh has its partner to, but it's from the same author that wrote The Monsters Know What They're Doing. He also wrote a book for player characters that's called Live to Tell the Tale. So I'll read up on it and then I can help us out with all of our tactical advice.
Excellent.
Finally taking all of my warnings seriously.
And I'm pretty sure that throwing Bremen soldiers in the drink is not one of those combat tactics. Just
I
gonna throw that
know.
out there.
However,
I do not have The Monsters Know What They're Doing. I've read the entries for like simple ghouls and one other creature. I don't remember what it is, but now I kind of want to. Okay.
You were the one who told me about it.
Here's what you guys have. So here's okay. So you use hit dice to skip encounters. They happen. You still get to loot, but we narrate our way through them, and you guys just spend your hit dice up to whatever your maximum is. Each difficulty has a different hit dice cost to skip, etc. But your followers reduce that in the following way. Every 50, just like fellow travelers, reduces it by 1, or every 10 armed guards reduces it by 1, or any combination of 10 class levels or challenge rating will reduce the hit dice cost by 1. So you've got 30 people that you can take.
But only 15 fit in the boat.
So you can fit 30 baseline. Not baseline. You can fit 15 comfortably. You can fit 30 crammed to capacity. It's going to mess with your ability to steer and avoid obstacles and whatnot.
Are we taking?
You're also not going to be able to take anything else. You can all have a pouch with a few days of rations, but you guys will not be able to take crates of food and whatnot.
Except in a bag of holding.
Oh.
That completely eliminates supply problems, unfortunately.
What's the capacity for the bag of holding, though?
A lot.
Yeah.
Just
How
How
a
many
lot.
slots does it have, Josh? Remember slots?
It can hold up to 500 pounds, or 64 cubic feet.
Wait, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So, yeah.
Not when you're feeding a city, but it's a lot when you're feeding your family.
Well, what I was going to
Exactly.
say is the danger here is if you guys don't take any supplies and you run your ship aground and it's damaged, you're in the middle of nowhere with no supplies.
No, yeah, we'll take supplies. Done.
Bag of holding can hold enough
Got it.
food to keep 30 people comfortably fed for weeks.
Oh, I meant to mute.
And I intend to spend a bunch of money literally filling that thing to the brim with food for other reasons.
So you have the only problem at the moment, though, is that you have, I think, about 500 pounds of flail snail shell in it. So you are actually at capacity in the bag of holding.
Because of the flail shell.
I think it was 500 pounds. I'll double check it. We'll figure weight out later. For now, we just need to know what's our roster.
Yeah.
So if you fill up with all like Jaegers and people,
Are
you've
we
got
taking off with
4,
us?
3, and a 6,
I hope so.
and a 7. I'm gonna count Constantine towards this. So he'll count as an 8th. Just because you rolled him before Jenny actually was him. So
Okay.
that's, if we add those together, that's 24, that's 20, so that's 28 levels. So with those 5 people, that gets you minus 2.
Can I?
If you add off on top of that,
Yes.
he is going to count as 4 people.
Because he's big.
Because he's very big. And although he can like stretch out,
He's like gushy.
And like, can he float?
technically you
We're not
guys
putting
could,
him in the water.
technically you guys could like stand in him.
That's weird.
Can I, before we consider that, can I ask, at what point are we not necessarily just like comfortable, but not at the point where there is detriment to steering?
15.
So that is it for maneuverability and speed.
I'll call it 20 people gets you kind of crowded, but it's not going to affect your steering. More than 20 and you're going to be, it's going to start to mess with you there.
Because I might favor that, because we have to cross the ocean and the ocean is doing weird crap and we can't have steering issues.
Yeah, the ocean's a mess.
So I'm kind of leaning towards the 20 rather than 30.
So if we add off,
Yeah.
you guys have reduced everything by 3 hit dice, which means you are only taking the hard encounters and then the deadly encounters.
Oh, that's all? That's fine.
If you add on to that, essentially 1 squad of legionnaires, that would put you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, plus a squad would actually put you at pretty much 19 or 20 people. You've eliminated all encounters except deadly, which can't be skipped anyway, and that's not affecting your steering.
Well,
That's good.
so let me just say that the logical part of me says if we come with a few extras, we're going to have some attrition along the way.
I like the way you think, Jenny, but it's a little too sensible.
You're not wrong.
I mean, because we could fight the stupid gold dragon dude and
Yeah.
lose half of our companions in one go and
And
no longer be screwed when it comes to steering. So maybe we take everyone to start with, and we'll bury a few along the way because that's what happens.
Bury them in the.
Actually, to that point,
Toss them
sorry,
overboard.
that you've got 19 people, but then that's plus you guys. So you've actually got 23 technically.
Well,
So it will affect your steering. Adding 7 more people will affect your steering more, but
B Grace as the player just doesn't want to feel that guilty for purposefully shoving Vreeman's soldiers into the mouth of said dragon, which is totally what Vera plans to do.
To start with a couple extra, and then like as we kind of go through encounters, I assume we'll lose a handful along the way. And
That's a good point. Yeah.
but I think in this case, like especially as we're starting out, it's probably better to have a little bit more. But maybe that's just me.
No, that's what I just said. So it's not just you.
are we sticking with 23 or are we going with full 30?
Let's say, I agree. Let's go 30 and feed some Vreemans to dragons along the way since it's unavoidable.
Okay.
This is why we have a new character.
I will plan your trip then, based on 30. Okay, cool. Well, oh my gosh, guys, you saved the tree.
That clutch 20, Mary,
Oh
that
my
was
God.
awesome.
I'm sitting there thinking this would be like, this is the time for a nat 20. There it is. Okay. All right, go ahead and end there, and we will pick up next time with, I think, probably Guth's funeral.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then the journey back to Onisher. Whew. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Remember to amend the script. I just sent you instructions
Oh, you sent me instructions?
in the Fantasy Grounds chat.
Why are you yelling jackals?
There's no Call of Cthulhu or world premiere of Jackals next Monday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I don't have the rest of my script, but thank you for joining us. Check us out at iconicproduction.wordpress.com. And then on Monday, we are premiering the game system written by JM, Jackals, which is awesome. I play tested it. It's wonderful. And you should all watch it and make other people watch it as well. Cool. I am totally blanking on literally everything else I'm supposed to say.
You say they.
On YouTube.
iconicproduction.wordpress.com, where you can discover a full lineup of podcasts, including other actual play shows like this one, or you can support us on Patreon, subscribe, follow the other thing, like us on Twitch and YouTube and those things.
Social medias. Yep.
Is it?
Good.
Cool. We're going to stop there before this gets worse.
It always gets worse.
But it always does.
I hope that you stay happy, healthy, and safe. Good night.